Welcome to the rabbit hole, where we go deep, deep into the rabbit hole. We're like-minded me. Welcome to the rabbit hole, the truth we see. There's lizard people everywhere, the conspiracies speak.
Welcome to the rabbit hole, where we go deep, uninvited from the rabbit hole. The weak-minded sheep for the open-minded people, not the little from the weak. Welcome to the rabbit hole. You sure you wanna be?
We have before us the opportunity to forge a new world order.
We don't have time for a meeting of the Flat Earth Society. Flat Earth Society. Flat Earth Society.
And for future generations.
Flat Earth Society. Flat Earth Society. We don't have time for a
new world order.
Treasure Island. They never come back. And boy.
Yes, guys, what is going on? It is Friday. It is time for a little dive down the deepest parts of the rabbit hole. I'm back here, of course, with my man Nikos and my man Johnny Boy Eugene might be coming in as well in a little while. Get yourself a little beer, a little cider, a little smoky dokey, whatever it is that you're into. Go and fill up because we have been waiting for this one. We have to be very, very careful what we say tonight. We have to. I know it's going to be me that's going to demark. Because by the way, in the last couple of days, we managed to get over 1,000 subs. Right, so shout out to everyone that's smashed the sub. Now we're over 1,000 subs. We actually now have to worry about being demonetized because now we are monetized for ad revenue. Now, as soon as it got turned on, I turned it on and I said, go back and turn all the monetization for all the previous shows. And immediately all of them were put on limited ads. So he obviously already knows what the content stuff is. And we are, I don't think this is going to, I don't think any of these pieces of content are ever going to make it to the point where we can get full monetization. But in the hope that we don't get shut down, let's steer clear of certain phrases, certain words. As we go down the Epstein files, there might be other videos that pop up along the way. First and foremost, though, guys, smash the like button. Smash the subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell. We've got Nikos's channel to plug as well, which I'll be dropping throughout the show. Before we get any further, guys, how are you, Nikos? You okay, my man?
Really good, mate. Really good. Thank you. Had a nice week. Been digging into these files, actually. Most of the week I downloaded them. It didn't blow up my external hard drive, which was nice. So, yeah, there's some scandalous stuff in here. I'm looking forward to discussing with yourself and John and potentially Eugene when he pops in. But, yeah, really, really good. I had a proud moment today. I signed my kid up to the football academy that Danny Elmo come through. So wow. Maybe one day on the Spurs transfers, rumours and, show that you do in 15 years' time, maybe his name will come up.
If I'm still doing content in 15 years' time, mate, something drastically wrong has happened in my life.
You never know. Hopefully.
Big up to you, Nikos, mate. I'm excited for this one. Johnny Boy, back on the stream. How are you, John? You okay, my man?
Yeah, good. Thanks, Sean. How are you and Bugsy?
Oh, Bugsy's in a mood with me. She's always in a mood. She's temperamental. I think she's tapped in the head. I think she's a tapped in the head dog. She's the smartest, brightest dog I've ever come across in my life. She's so clever. It's unbelievable. But I think she's often the line between genius and insanity is very thin, right? So I think she often breaches into that world of like, what are we doing here? But big up to you for asking, my man. How you got a dog, John?
Has she been snorting your magnums while you've had your back turned?
I've been snorting something. She almost found a box of have you seen those Mikodos? They're like little bits of chocolate on the top. Yeah. I came upstairs a couple of days ago, and she found the box, and she was trying to get into it. I'm like, no, Bugsy, no, you can't learn about chocolate. It's bad for you, girl. It's bad for you, you know. But listen, there's over 100 people in the house already. Absolutely sensationale. Don't forget that we're here for as long as we're here for, but we got a lot to get through. And I just want to start off, guys. I want to start off by saying people like David Icke. Now, I know you might have a certain opinion about David Icke, whether or not he's like a shill or he's like someone that's, you know, bought, paid for, whatever. But 1995, this guy came out and said that the world is run by PDF people and Satanists. It doesn't roll off the tongue quite as much when you've got to think about it, does it?
So we just call them Arsenal fans.
Arsenal fans, yeah.
These Arsenal fans, these dirty Arsenal fans.
Dirty Arsenal fans, right? But he was right, bro. He was right. And you know the gate that happens to have pizza in front of it, you know, hoping to get around the AI thing here by
It'll last 5 minutes. It'll last 5 minutes, I bet.
Like 5 minutes, right? But all of that stuff looks like it was,
couldn't we?
What's that, John?
Let's call it pizza door because everyone knows what we're referring to, and it's probably
yeah. Pizza door, yeah. Well, look, these guys adore pizza, and I've never seen as many references. I saw one email where someone was responding to one of Epstein's assistants or whatever, and they said, "Oh, brilliant news! Jeffrey wants to invite you for a pizza. Can't believe it. You're in. Let's talk about it, whatever." And the person responded and said, "That is phenomenal. I'm actually on my way to a pizza now in Coney Island. And then I've got another pizza that I'm going to in Long Island in a few hours' time. And don't forget, we've still got to meet up for our pizza this evening. I've never had 3 pizzas in one day. Yum, yum, yum." I mean, it's pretty terrifying. It's pretty terrifying that these people, they rule the world, and that these guys are in charge of the WEF. They're in charge of the vaccine procedures. I'm more and more terrified now about the fact, Nikos, that you might just have been right, that I did lose my soul when I had that.
I never get tired of hearing Nikos, you're right.
Stuff, mate, you know?
I'm sorry, my friend. Some of us just early to the pizza party or whatever. But yeah, I've got a feeling that I'm right about a lot of stuff. I don't mind admitting when I'm wrong either. But yeah, I appreciate the compliment.
Yeah, listen, I know it's scary, mate. It's scary. These people worship a certain god, and it's not the same god that we worship, right, John?
Are you referring to the one that begins with a B and ends with an L?
Yeah.
Well, that's one of them anyway, isn't it? There's probably a couple they've got that they're a bit too interested in, a bit more than they should be anyway.
I've been going down the rabbit hole of I feel like this whole last couple of weeks or like month or whatever since this stuff's come out. Oh, look who's joined it. Look who's joined the show. We haven't even mentioned his name yet. We haven't even mentioned Elon's name, but he's here. Hello, Eugene. How are you, my man? Good to see you. The gang is back together. How are you, buddy?
Come on, boys. Good to be on. Just a disclaimer, I might be jumping on and off since I have a sick child who's complaining, but I couldn't miss this one.
Everything okay?
Just a flu.
Okay.
I think.
I thought he might have his name as like Elon defense lawyer or something today.
Man, hey,
the EDL.
I do not duck.
Elon Defense League.
I do not duck tough questions, so I'm here.
Well, you got some coming. I think you got some explaining to do about your supreme leader.
Yeah,
I made some calls, so
Listen, I've got to be honest, right? I in going down this rabbit hole over the last sort of month, getting stuck back into it, and then realizing that the pizza door thing was right, and that's scary. And then looking into, you know, like, I mean, I've got some stuff to show. We can do it in real time. We can get up. I've got the justice.gov website. If we can just search, we can search and go and find whatever we want, right? But what I find is even more interesting is going and looking back at, like, you know, Nimrod. So Nimrod was like one of the it's in the Bible, right? He was he was one of the sons of essentially the Nephilim, I guess, right? Or like one of the sons of the giants. And they like his tomb, or whatever you want to call it, was in Babylon, which is like today's version of Iraq. And I was listening to Candace Owens. I know Eugene hates Candace, but she was doing like a very simplified expose of or exploration into this story about Nimrod and Bacchus, I think it is, which is another name for the same thing. And I genuinely think that they do think that guy is. And they found his tomb. One of the very first things that they did was they found his tomb, and they built the when they went into war with Iraq in 2003, they built one of their bases around his tomb. Yeah. And then they were doing all the excavation work. So like it's quite terrifying that they probably now have the technology to be able to, like, I don't know, extract his DNA or its DNA, whatever, and then clone it. And so maybe all of their movements towards bringing back the Antichrist was because they believe that this guy was one of the fallen angels. I'm just getting back into religion. I feel like all of this stuff brings me back to start going, I need to go back and read the Bible again, because I've always been someone who's a bit of an atheist. But I feel like what I'm seeing more and more now is like it's bringing me back towards this idea that the devil is real and God is real. And, you know, go and get first of all, go and get yourself right with that scenario, but also go back and study and educate yourself now on the Great Flood and all those things, and why the flood happened. Was the flood just an accident because of an asteroid or whatever that hit the Earth, or was it a solar spot, or was it maybe God was punishing those that tried to build the Tower of Babel and all that stuff? You know, yeah. Any thoughts on that?
You got to find a Bible that's an older Bible though. They're very hard to come by. You know, the Bibles we have these days are more redacted than the Epstein files. You know, there's so many stuff that's taken out of it and edited out of it. You know, the Book of Enoch and stuff like this. But I do agree with what you said there. You know, find God, and, you know, we're seeing the devil in real time playing out in front of us right now. So can't have one without the other.
Are you two at the bottom there? Oh, sorry, go on, Nicholas. Go on,
I was just say what you said about Iraq there. They also did the same thing in, I think it was Syria, for where Baal's temple was. They did the same thing in Syria. When they build these US military bases in these areas.
BAAL.
Yeah.
Oh, was he a real person? I thought he was just like an ancient god.
No, there's the compound of where he lived is in Syria. I forget the name of it. It'll come to me later on the show, I'm sure. But they did the same thing. Literally invaded Syria, built a US military compound right on top of all the remnants of it. It's been completely decimated, but there's still some towers there and pillars and stuff there that are all there. And there's also obviously huge military control now there. So it's a common practice from what you said in Iraq. It's probably anywhere they've got a base, I would question these days, to be honest.
That's where the Stargates are, aren't there? 2 Stargates. I think there's one in Iraq and one in Syria.
Yeah.
I don't know. Talk to me about Stargates, John. What do you know about Stargates, mate?
I'll tell you another show.
What, is it not? What do you want to talk about it on the Spurs talk show?
Yeah, let's do it on the Spurs.
It'll be more interesting than Spurs.
If we do it on the Spurs talk show, Lubo's bound to backdoor his way into it, isn't he? He's going to have a seven file presentation on the Stargates of Syria.
The manifesto, yeah, the Stargate manifesto, yeah.
Yeah. When people say Syria, I keep thinking, what's the Italian football league got to do with it? Stargates are apparently, aren't they? They're like a portal to other dimensions, or potentially other planets or other lands, whatever you want to theorize into them. But there was a TV series, wasn't there, Stargate, and there was a film. I think the TV series was Stargate.
One of the best movies I've seen. Amazing movie.
Oh, it's a great movie, Stargate, the film. Great movie.
And the series, I think, was Stargate SG-1, wasn't it? That was another one.
Yeah.
There's quite a lot of theories out there about what they're used for. Max Spears used to talk about jump rooms, didn't he, to other lands and so on. He said about jump rooms to Mars and so on, what he was transported through. That's another theory. Talking about the flood, that's some things I've heard about the Milky Way, where some people think that that's a crack in the firmament. where apparently it was opened up to let the flood come in and then repaired when it was stopped.
Right.
Interesting one.
40 years ago, Milky Way was just a chocolate bar.
Are you guys more
Yeah.
attached to? I can't believe we're getting straight into it. It's supposed to be an Epstein story. We're getting straight into it. I got to ask this, right? Because you guys are religious, right? So you believe in the Bible, you believe in God, and I'm getting there, 100%, right? When I see this shit all day long, I'm getting there. Like these guys do absolutely worship people from like not the same God as us, in my opinion. They're into things, right? Like the unaliving of people below the age of a certain age because it has purity in their innocence. That stuff is as old as time itself, right? Like Mesopotamians, Babylonians, Egyptians, they all did unaliving of that stuff, of those types of people for thousands. It's so difficult to say this without just saying the words. I might have to just sacrifice the. Oh, no, I've just done it. I know. I didn't even mean it like that. I didn't even mean it. I meant it in a different way. Anyway.
You're not even getting a bag of ice from the local shop, are we? Let alone a trip to bloody Antarctica.
You're good. You're good.
Anyway, like they are 100%.
The host did the deed, did the dirty on us.
Yeah. They 100% always used to do that stuff. The Romans did it, the Egyptians did it, the Greeks did it, the Mesopotamians did it, the Babylonians did it, the ancients, everything did it, right? All of these, and then I think it just went behind closed doors. I think that when Christianity was starting to emerge and they moved from polytheism to monotheism, and what was the guy's name? It was Constantine. Pope Constantine III. He basically said like there was a war brewing between Christianity and the polytheists. Let's sort of turn all of the kind of the paganism symbols into anti-Christ worship, whatever. That was sort of narrative that was in that book, Holy Blood, Holy Grail. But I believe that stuff never went away. I believe that I genuinely am believing now that the people that are in the highest echelons of power, because you know that all of the prime ministers, all of the presidents, all of the people, they have like a ridiculously closer bloodline continuity than like four of us, right? The four of us probably are 15th cousins or something, right? There's like 20 generations away of separation, whatever else, random people. We probably have some connection. 20 people back in our ancestry. These guys are all like third cousins and second cousins and fourth cousins. So like, they keep it within the family. I genuinely am getting to the point where I believe that maybe, just maybe, the powers that be that are into this stuff, or at least some of them, others maybe just get brought into it because they want power and they have to kind of get on board certain things in order to enter that world. But I think some people that really rule the roost, I think they are the offspring of the Nephilim.
Yeah, I think so too.
Before, because I might get kicked out of this show for good, after my balanced take. But as always, I'll play the skeptic. I'll be the voice of reason, and then you guys can, just go at me. I think it's pretty simple. Do you guys know Bill Burr, the comedian?
Yeah.
So he had this joke about Tiger Woods. When Tiger Woods had the affair and he was having relationships with all these like Swedish blonde women, the joke was a fat guy on the couch who cannot find a woman to save his life is judging Tiger Woods, who has millions of dollars and has women throwing themselves at him. Every man, like I feel like the Bible, everything else is just a way to explain human nature, right? Human nature is most men who are around women who are in power will act a certain way. Some suppress that urge, some do not. So when you make it to this higher echelon and you can act on your urges, right? Most men by nature, they do that, right? So I just feel like it less to do with religion or like Nephilim or anything else. It's basic human nature. Men do taboo stuff because they can, because they want to feel the power over others, and they have urges as far as women, all that kind of stuff. So Epstein, a lot of it was criminal for sure, but a lot of it was just powerful man wanted to do stuff in secret Was it morally moral? Whatever. It's not for me to judge. Probably not. Obviously not. However, I think it's just human nature, and we've seen it forever, to do certain things. I don't
No,
think
I can get on. I can get on board the idea that billionaires who can have anything they want, then after a while, anything that's legal is boring, and they want something a bit more exciting. I can get on board that thing, right?
any one of
Okay,
us, Sean, if you have
no,
women
for
throwing
sure,
would
sure.
do the same
But I'm
thing.
not
I'm sure.
talking about. I'm not talking about billionaires who go to an island to do up get up to their fun in peace and behind us. There's no. I'm talking about the weird stuff, like when it comes to offing people, like there's the stuff that's in the like. I'll show you some of the things. Like, oh, thanks for sending over the torture video.
Oh, for sure.
Like, really enjoyed that, loved that. What? Like,
but it's
just because
people
you're a
like,
billionaire, suddenly you're into seeing people getting hurt in horrendous ways.
but I guess my point is, it's not that billionaires are into it and that's it. I think there's a segment of people, right? There are fetishes, there are all that kind of stuff, who are into it. Some have access and some don't. If you're a billionaire with this sort of weird thing, right, you have access to things that a normal person with the same fetish does not.
But
Right?
what about the
But
rituals?
I don't think
The
it's rich
rituals are
versus
different.
poor. I think it's just some people are wired a certain way and they want to see that.
Yeah, because they have absolutely zero empathy
Yeah,
for
but it's
other
brain.
people, and that
It's
to
how,
me is like that. If
but
you
it's
don't
the
have the
brain
empathetic
wiring.
gene,
Sean. It's not the money. It's the brain wiring. And then, but if you have money, you have access to the stuff. But some people are just fucked up.
okay. So why do they do like what? Why does the CERN? Why do the people at CERN do the ritualistic thing where there was the in front of the god Shiva? Like, what's that? What possible itch is that scratching?
It's a cult mentality. Why do football fans do certain like rituals or whatever, right? Like it's just people, again, our nature is we like to do things in a group. We like cults, we like social things. Football fans have their certain rituals. Some other people have some weird rituals. Again, my personal opinion, it has less to do with like evil versus good. It's more about being in a social group and just, I don't know, just.
But all of these people happen to be billionaires, and they all happen to be on the boards, and they all happen to be ambassadors. There's a story about this the ex-ambassador to Mexico from the United States, right? That he raped an 11-year-old girl, and there's literally an email from someone in Mexico that says, I'll bring it up in a minute, but it says he's talking to the NYPD guy who's looking into certain things and goes, mate, we need to talk, right? Like, we've uncovered stuff in Mexico that puts Prince Philip, not Prince Andrew, the whole Prince Philip thing, it makes it pale in comparison. It's wild. We need to talk. We are getting ex-commandos chasing us down. We've had gunfights where these people, white American men, are chasing us down in Mexico, trying to kill our investigation, trying to off our investigation. Yada yada yada, goes into it, and he goes, oh, by the way, you also need to look into this guy, and the name is the name of the person. Said he's been found guilty of raping an 11-year-old girl, and we know for a fact that he has the same DNA as the girl's father, the girl's child, right? He escaped and went back to America. They trialed him in his absence, found him guilty, and because someone paid an obscene amount of money, some ex-military guy is currently serving his life sentence. And I looked up this geezer. He works at some university in Washington, D.C. Right? I've got the videos of him talking about. This guy's like it's just there's the frequency of like people that are into weird things, that are happy to like do horrible stuff with young girls or young boys or whatever else. The pizza party thing, all that stuff. That stuff is like, it's just too much of it in too few places. Like, I'd understand if there was like one person in a million, Eugene, that was into that and they happen to find each other, but they're all into it, and they all happen to be people that work for the World Economic Forum.
No, but what about the church? How many, for hundreds of thousands of years.
Catholic Church is another
Exactly,
fucking shit
but it's
show.
been thousands, if not hundreds of thousands. So it's access, right? It's places, people with certain like brain chemistry who are fucked up, who have access, right? If you're a priest, you have access to kids. If you're a billionaire with those fetishes and you have access,
So
you
what
have
are
a
you
lot of
saying
money,
then?
you have
Like
access.
50%? Are you saying 50% of teachers are into that as well?
I don't know about the percentages, but I'm sure there's a large, well, not large, but there's a percentage of people who go into teaching to have access to kids, just like there's a percentage of priests who are there to have access to kids, just like the percentage of billionaires who have access to money and to third world countries where they can go and do stuff. So again, for me, it's less to do with specific religion. It's just people are twisted. Human nature is fucked up at times, and there are people with money and access. And I'm sure there are a lot of poor people who would do the same thing. They just don't have the means to do it and get away with it. So that's why we don't know
I
about
think
them.
I think a lot of it is evil men controlling conditioning. So Eugene's kind of right. I didn't have Eugene making excuses for Epstein on my bingo
No,
card.
it's not an excuse. It's just human. It's not an excuse for anybody.
But, you know, I think these evil people have infiltrated such many ways of like conditioning from a young age. Like kids these days get access to all these computer games with guns, and it's the same with any kind of information. You know, like if you look at a young innocent child, like a 5-year-old child, they're not thinking about these things. These are not things that comes into the psyche somewhere along the line with information. So the people that are controlling the information, and I think it's evil people that have controlled the information for many hundreds of years, if not thousands of years. And this is why they sort of splinter off a bit. It's got to a very large percentage of people that have been indoctrinated and conditioned with this information. Now, like Sean said, like teachers in every walk of life, this has infiltrated them through some way, shape or form. Maybe the internet's purpose was to poison people's minds a little bit more. But it has existed for a long time, but I think that's just more selective evil people.
And by the way, I don't want to do a Sava and get triggered by nothing. However, a disclaimer, I don't want to just be that guy who's like, oh, you said this, you said that. But I'm not making excuses for anybody. I'm just saying that a lot of it is just human nature. That's just the way it is. It doesn't excuse the behavior. It explains why people are behaving a certain way. It's, for me, it's again, it's less to do with evil versus good. Evil and good is a symptom of things. That's the way for us to explain and to rationalize, okay, this behavior is evil, this is not evil, right? That was brought in by religion, and religion was in place to explain certain things. But people, by definition, are fucked up. Some people are born they're born sick, they're born with split personalities, they're born with different like fetishes. Like people are fucked up. So some people just have that urge, and those people who have access and money, they act on those urges because they're not afraid of the laws. Like right now, if we lived in Rome, if we didn't have any laws, people would be doing some crazy shit. People who you think are good people, they're only good because they're afraid of the repercussions. So laws are stopping a lot of people from doing crazy shit. However, if you have billions and you feel like you're above the law and you can do whatever you want, a percentage of those people are going to do some crazy shit because they can. And again, it's not about that they worship Satan or this or that. It's just they're fucked up, and that's what they're going to do. So sorry if that's a boring explanation, but I really
No, that's fair enough. It's fair enough.
feel.
Have you seen some of these videos? So you've seen some of these. Have you actually looked into the files though? Because some of this stuff might change your mind a little bit.
I watched CoffeeZilla take on it because he does a lot. I didn't have time to go through every email, but he's pretty good about analyzing certain things.
All right, should we have a look? Should we run some videos, guys? See what we go with
Just careful with, everything here is allegedly. Just
Yeah, of
whoever's
course.
watching.
I've got the disclaimer at the bottom. It's all allegedly.
Okay, good. Where? Oh, okay.
Why is this name redacted? You would think the DOJ would want to investigate someone who sent an email to Jeffrey Epstein saying, quote, I give you permission to kill him. Well, thankfully for all of us, the DOJ sucks at their job, and there's actually another version of that email that is less redacted, or more accurately, poorly redacted. Check this out. I give you permission to kill him. He is apparently with Olga. He lied to you. He lied to me. And you can kind of make out the name here to be one Susan Hamblin. Here's an enhanced image. You could read right there, Susan Hamblin. So who is Susan Hamblin? Well, she is evidently a financial advisor and founder of the adoption agency Kids to Families. Looks like the agency no longer exists, but I was able to find this archive in the Wayback Machine. At this point, we still don't know who Olga is, but according to reporting, it says that the only time the name has come up in the Epstein case is when his former lawyer, Alan Dershowitz, recounted getting a massage from a woman of the same name at Epstein's place. Now, interestingly, a few years ago, Susan Hamblin sued News Group Newspapers, the publisher of The Sun, who had printed that Susan Hamblin had groomed and procured a 16-year-old woman to be sexually abused by Epstein and told her that Epstein would kill her and her family if she told anyone what Epstein had done. They've since removed those articles and agreed to pay her a substantial compensation. But one Sue Hamblin can be seen in this photo with Jeffrey Epstein describing her to be his alleged assistant, as well as this photo of her leaving Jeffrey Epstein's New York City apartment describing her as a long-term confidant. A lot of stuff going on here, but the lesson is that this is all information that the DOJ wants to hide from us, but thank goodness the internet is still undefeated.
Yeah, she was the girl that was also seen leaving that apartment with Prince Andrew years ago, or whenever it was, a few years ago. But we got to bring this back because there's a lot of people here that will be interested in Mandelson as well. We'll get to Mandelson later on because that guy's guilt. He should be. I don't know what's the crime for what's the punishment for treason in the UK?
Yes. No, actually, when the Labour Party took over in '97, I think it was. I think they actually took away the penalty of treason by death. So now it's prison.
Yeah.
The first
thing they did when they got in Tony Blair's government, wasn't it? First thing. It wasn't let's fix the NHS. It wasn't let's pass a law about police rights. Or no. First thing we got to do, treason has to be lowered on the punishment list.
Scandalous, absolutely scandalous. They should all of them go all the way back. We should just rewrite it all and say, anyone accountable for these crimes, death. End of story. Treason is in every other part of the world is punishment by death. So I don't know. I think in America, I don't know if they've changed the law in the US. Maybe Eugene can enlighten us. But treason in the US is punishable by death. And there's lots of people here.
It's life. I think it's life or death. It's one of those. Either it's life in prison or death.
I'm pretty sure it's death. I think it's firing squad. I think, to be honest, which is again.
I don't know if we do that anymore.
No, I don't firing squad.
Yeah, I'm not sure. They don't update these laws too often with stuff like that because there's not many examples of people being held accountable for treason. But in most countries in the world, treason is like death straight away.
That's fair.
So I think that girl, she's probably in her 20s. I think that girl was once upon a time a victim. Probably enjoyed it, or not enjoyed it. It was wrong word, but like probably kind of got on board it. And then became like a sourcing agent of new girls into the system. And then bit by bit, she kind of got promoted. And she thought, you know what, this is the life. This is the life I've chosen. I'm happy. I've got the same sort of, I don't care about other people. The lack of empathy, probably because she had probably a tough upbringing. That's.
Can I say something really?
Yeah, of course you can. Yeah.
Controversial, and again, just maybe I shouldn't. So I don't want to be. So just being from Ukraine, from Russia, right? So I kind of being around kind of that culture. And I remember even in San Francisco when I was in my 20s, going to like Russian parties and restaurants, and there were girls around. I'm like, oh wow, and then like, oh, by the way, she's 16, right? And like, there's no way. But like, if you look at like women and girls from Eastern Europe, compare them to the girls from the States, just kind of the maturity, like it's completely on a different level, right? So a lot of them, it's like when you're a footballer in Brazil, you do whatever it takes to get out, right? So these girls, they make conscious decision about, okay, right, I know what's waiting for me, but I'm gonna make that choice. Because like recently I was watching, not recently, a couple years ago, there was a video, I think on YouTube, about a human trafficking operation from Odessa, that's the city where I was born, ran by this Russian woman. So that shit is horrific. they lied to those girls and then they kept them in cages and whatever, right? Like, versus, again, I don't know all the story about Epstein, but based on the emails, a lot of them was like, okay, this girl has a schedule, she's going to fly here and there. Both of them are crazy, horrific things that people should go to prison for. But if you look at the reality, like if we look at it without our, like, American or European lens, a lot of those like 17-year-old girls are making conscious decisions to be, okay, I'm gonna be like escorts. And in Eastern Europe,
make the most of it because it's the only option I've got.
Yeah, in Eastern Europe, 17 or even 16, it doesn't matter, 24, 25, like it's not like here where we made 18 years old as the cutoff, right? So again, completely uncalled for, immoral, people should go to prison. I'm just giving you guys context. Just living there.
Are you conditioning us for your name coming up Are you conditioning us for your name coming up in these files or something? It feels like you're on the.
I trust me. Being in San Francisco,
Eugene. I'm going to search for Eugene in the files right now.
Files. Look it up. We're going for you, Eugene. We see.
I'm just saying, like Eastern European girls.
This is not defensible. I'm sorry. None of this is defensible. The stuff I'm reading is scandalous. The thing that scares me a lot about these girls that come from Ukraine and Russia and a lot of these models that end up getting killed for no reason is there seems to be so fucking many of them. Like, where are they all going? Like, how many people are they supplying? Like, how big is this operation? That's something I can't get my head around. It's like, how big must this be for them to constantly be recruiting? You know, like Sean said, that woman there who's in that video, they're always recruiting. And then Ghislaine Maxwell's.
By the way, Eugene, your name comes up 455 times in the files. So.
Get into it. I'm
just saying. Hello, I don't know. Put two and two together and get what you want.
Can you type Nikos in there? So many times my name comes up.
I guess my point was the outrage is like this is horrific, but there are like thousands of operations that are much worse like than this that's being kept quiet because the human trafficking on the lower level is like horrific as well, and we don't hear about it. So this is like everybody should go to prison, but all I'm saying is this is happening every day on a large, wider scale.
Yeah, of course.
And people are skating.
Trafficking is wild. Some of the stuff I read, nothing to do with the Epstein thing, but I read about this. I saw this video. I'm not sure if I've got it. I might have it, I might not. I saw this video of this like giant, burly Russian soldier guy. He's probably about 35, 40, but like not the sort of geezer that you want to meet, not the sort of geezer you want to have hand-to-hand combat with, an absolute unit of a guy. And he was saying, I forget the name of the town in Ukraine. It's like Iferez or Iferine or something, some place. And he said, we rocked up there and we found this building. And essentially he was choking up when he was saying it. He was like, the things that we saw were just horrific. He goes, all of the young children would be taken onto the ground floor and then they would be undressed and then they would be moved up to the second floor. And that was where they were unalived. And they were just like, harvesting of their organs or whatever, and thrown into, and then they were just discarded. He said, and the people that were doing it, it was like they were working with chickens in a chicken coop or or cows. He's like, there was absolutely no difference. To them, it was just mechanical. And he goes, it was horrendous, absolutely horrendous. You'd see like just a giant fucking like a disposal bin where when they take what they wanted, they would just throw these babies into the. And he's like, this is a big, giant Russian guy that's probably been at war, most of his adult life, and he's seen the worst things, But what he saw there, he was like, he was choking up talking about it. So yeah, 100% agree with you, Eugene. It's not just an Epstein thing. It's the world is a fucked up place.
The reason, sorry, Nico, just one last time, and then I'll shut up. The reason why I don't think it's religious. Like, if you look at Afghanistan, right, the stories from the U.S. soldiers about what they do to boys in Afghanistan, where they were like hearing screams at night, like, how they, whatever, are word boys in Afghanistan, because there has nothing to do with Christianity or anything else. The stories by both Russians and Americans from the World War II, what the Russian army was doing to women in Germany, to women and girls in Germany when they occupied Germany, what the German troops were doing to like women and girls in Eastern Europe. So stuff like that, as far as has been happening for thousands of years. So my point is horrific, but I just think it's just human nature. In certain environments, certain people are just going to do this crazy shit. Nothing to do with like Satan or God. Is just as people were
I know,
fucked up.
yes, some people are just built with like a lack of empathy, and they come from a part of the world where no one gives you anything, and it is what it is. And I totally also understand that. Listen, from people that want to just run the business side of things, like you can only sell a bag of drugs once. You can sell a woman 15 times a day, right? So I understand that happens, but I do think there's also like that's and that's probably 90% of it, 95% of it across the world. If there's 1 million kids that go missing every year, a lot of that stuff is just that, because there's like some fetishes out there and people just whatever. It is what it is. It's horrendous. It's graphic. It's gruesome. But there's also a subsect of it that is into some religious. They worship and they're into certain things. Like you, John. Let me ask you, John. These things are as old as time, right? Like the Baphomet, the worshipping of certain Canaanite deities, and those things, they required, like in the spirit realm, let's be honest, the spirit realm is very real. We can't see it, but it doesn't mean it doesn't impact on us. Just like you can't see oxygen, it doesn't mean it's not real. But like there are people out there, maybe back in the day it was overt, maybe it's covert these days, but like there are people out there that worship Satan. There's people out there that worship the old versions of that, and they wanted those beings wanted innocent blood as a way for them to feed off of. That's their energy source, right? That's how we eat a steak. They would rather feed off of the fear of innocent people.
Yeah, this is not human nature. It's not like saying it's human nature to want to be a better person, or it's human nature to be selfish or angry when something bad happens to you. They're all parts of the human condition. Human nature is not going to drive you to want to abuse and cause serious harm to other humans. That is seriously, psychologically screwed up. And nothing actually drives anyone to want to do that unless it's for a purpose, as you say. If it's ritualistic stuff where they think that they're going to give to their gods, whoever it is, the higher power that they're fearful of, or they think that they need to, how can I put it? Who they need to do these things to, otherwise they're either going to be killed or they're not going to get their crops harvested, or whatever it is where it used to go back to. Yeah. It's driven by fear. Now, if some of these people are possessed, they are attached with demonic entities or whatever it could be, then if they're working through them as well, then they're driving that collective to do these things. But absolutely, it's not human nature. No way. I've never met another human being, working in the therapy world and the psychotherapy world, I've never met another human being who's had that will to do that to someone else, unless they have an extreme mental imbalance. There's something driving them to do something. But if you look at people like psychopaths who kill people, they cause serious bodily harm, it's very rare that they will actually be driven to do these sort of things that we're talking about.
Yeah, and I don't think that 100% of the people that are implicated in this whole, this global elite of, fucking sadistic,
Arsenal fans,
horrendous people, I don't think that they are all born into believing that stuff's right. I think a lot of them are just thirsty on power, and I genuinely do think, right, that the difference between people that make it to billionaire level and people that are just successful, I don't think it's that they're all intelligent. I don't think it's that they're all just better at business. I think a lot of them are just away from this sadistic stuff, just generally speaking. I think a lot of them just have a lack of empathy, and they don't care about stepping over other people to get what they want. And I think that's a tendency of sociopathy and psychopathy, right? It's like, if you don't care about other people, if like the idea of like, oh, that guy's, I'm sorry to hear that. If you don't have that element to you, then it means that you're capable of acting in a way that doesn't keep you up at night. And I think that most people that are at the very highest levels of politics or business or anything, I think those guys aren't necessarily, like, some of them for sure have done like really well at Cambridge or Oxford or fucking Harvard or whatever else. But I think the common denominator between those that have made it to the very top and those that are just successful but still live with the natural human endeavors, and they still, they still have an element within them of, oh, I wouldn't do that to them because I wouldn't want someone to do that to me, kind of thing. I think that that's the common denominator. I don't think people that have empathy make it to billionaire status, because nobody gets to that level, or to the highest levels. Like, the amount of, imagine to get like Keir Starmer to make it to the prime minister level, or Boris Johnson, or any of these people. You have to be super, super ambitious. Again, forget about all this other crap for a minute. You have to be super ambitious, but I also think you have to have a willingness to fuck everybody over to get what you want. And I don't think the average person does that. I wouldn't do that. I don't think you would do that, John. I don't think you do that, Nikos. I don't think you do that, Eugene. And I don't think the 215 people that are watching right now, and by the way, guys, that is a new record for the show. Choo to you all. Choo to you all. Please smash the like and subscribe. I don't think they would do that either. Maybe one or two.
Disagree with that, Sean. That's not right. Look, if you look at Nazis, you can't just tell me that all the stuff that they were doing, right, like incinerating babies, whatever, that all of a sudden all of them are sociopaths. Like, we are capable of things that we're not aware of that would come out in certain conditions. Again, there are interviews of Russian soldiers right now who are in their 80s and 90s who are crying, talking about stuff that they did and stuff that they've seen their, comrades do in Germany or in Russia, stuff that no sane person would do, very similar to the Epstein stuff or worse. And they're normal people.
Why? Because they, it's needs
circumstances.
Must, right?
There's certain circumstances that bring out the worstness.
Not everybody that's poor in Russia would happily unalive their next door neighbor's
Not happily,
child.
but I'm saying, like, during a war, again, not all Nazis who work in camps were sociopaths. There were just people who, under certain conditions,
a lot of them were working under fear, right?
But it's not. I mean, we're guessing, probably not. I mean, but all I'm saying is,
you're saying that if we were all at war right now and we were all forced into conscription and we happened to join our own armies, right, and that we were winning the war, and then prisoners of war that were, I don't know, Chinese or whatever, if they came over and invaded us and we grabbed a few of them, and I happened to be conscripted into the army, if I had to be, you think that I would suddenly decide that I want to torture them? Because
I have no idea. Or people, we don't know things about ourselves until or unless certain circumstances arise. I can think of myself as I'm this and that.
What's the circumstance with someone who's got £1 billion in their pocket who doesn't?
I have no idea, but that's what I'm saying. I don't. For some people, it's access and it's wealth, and they can, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna do it. For other people, it's stress, and stress triggers certain things. It's very easy for us to sit there and say, I would never do this, this, and that, but we just don't know that until we're put in that situation. So
I hear you on that. I don't disagree with your overall premise. I don't disagree.
It's not just being a sociopath. That's my point.
I hear you on that. I don't disagree with you don't know what you're capable of until you're put in certain scenarios. And because I've been born into a fairly comfortable existence, right, where I haven't had to if I'm homeless, am I more likely in a more placid environment? Am I more likely to steal someone's purse than I would be now? For sure, I can get on board that, right? Desperate circumstances. I get all that. But I think that doesn't mean that there isn't an element of people, and I think it's a disproportionately high amount of people that happen to operate at the highest levels of government. I think that those, or in positions of power, I think those people are doing it because I think there's an element, I don't know how much, but they're doing it because they are from I think there's bloodlines, man. I genuinely think that there's certain people. Don't forget, there's so many rumors of people that if you're part of the Rothschild families or the Rockefeller, those bloodlines, they abuse their own children to create them in. They get them into that mind because it happened to them when they were a child. Like it's coercing the same environment to make sure that no one escapes from the mind prison of being the way we need you to be to continue to act in a certain way. So I'll let Eugene carry on, but I'll
no, go for it, Nikos. I know.
Nikos,
No, I was going to say Eugene's kind of right. Like, there's lots of examples. I mean, you know, like the Russian military and the UK. You know, when they was colonizing the world, you know, these sort of crimes were instilled in the army that were doing it. I mean, you know, not to go down this road, but in recent times we've seen the allegations against the IDF, what happened, and the way they were targeting people without empathy. You know, minors, babies, and stuff like this. I think it's conditioned into them from training. So all of these soldiers from all these different countries and around the world, they all go through these very, very high stress tactical programs where they actually condition them into thinking the way they think, and their brain acts the way it acts. And, you know, anyone that's got a soul, you just can't condone any of this stuff. But I just think the devil's at work, and he's spread his wings. And, you know, the last 50, 100 years, it's a big web now, and we're starting to see for our own eyes that it's all around us. And there needs to be accountability. You know, one thing I think we all can agree on is that, you know, anybody that does commit these crimes should be held accountable.
It's like the zombie movies. Like,
it hurts my stomach. You know, there's not many topics that I've come across in the conspiracy world where I actually feel sad in my stomach, but this particular one, like going through these files this last week, actually is quite.
Yeah, but those of you that are watching this for the first time, normally we have a lot of fun when we're doing this. It's like it's usually like 50% joking and laughing, and 50% we'll see where we go. But this topic particularly is a little bit distressing. But John, you wanted to say something there, my man?
No, I didn't really have anything to add. I think I've covered what I wanted to say. That these things they're not an outlet for frustration or anger. They are specifically done in certain ways. They're ritualistic. They're not done under any stress or duress. It's their choice to do them. And as you say, if they're bringing up children and they're shown it's the norm, then you're bringing up children who are going to have serious psychological problems because they're seeing that's how life is for them. So you're conditioning those children to be that way as well, because you're going to continue the tradition. So it's likely that those children, the young ones, are going to grow up and want to do the same thing because that's what they've been taught from a young age. But it's not like going out and getting pissed and, you know, having a shout and a swear, going to the football and taking out your frustration, your anger on the away fans or your own team. This is calculated. It's ritualistic. It's done under organisation. It's not off the cuff. It's something that they do, that they obviously are planning, and it's it's not spontaneous.
Yeah.
So absolutely not part of the human condition in terms of that it's norm in society.
I don't think it's.
But the society, John.
I do think that Rudolph's got. Sorry, just quickly. I think Rudolph's got a good point here. I do remember seeing the experiment. I think during the MK Ultra experiments, I remember seeing this video where
Stanford experiments too.
They'd put a guy behind, like in front of a screen, and they would say, "You got to push this button, and every time you push this button, the other guy's going to get a shock, right? But if you don't do it when I tell you to, then something else is going to happen. Something bad's going to happen elsewhere." And he was pushing it. He really wasn't actually shocking the other guy, but the guy behind the screen was screaming like he was, and he continued to do it despite the dial getting turned up on the kind of torture of it or whatever. I was like, you're absolutely. I forget the specifics, Rudolph, but you're absolutely right. People can be coerced into doing horrendous things. You're absolutely right.
Does it affect the dopamine in your brain? These sort of types of things that they're glorifying. Does it maybe set off some sort of type of chemical reaction in people's brains that isn't natural, and they just figured it out? And like the MK Ultra, the trauma experiments, you know, all this kind of stuff.
It's not even that, Nikos. It's like, I think in Stanford, they ran those experiments where they separated people in groups, where like some were prisoners and others were like, what do you call those? Like people who oversee the prisoners, right? And after a while, people who had power over others and they were in a separate group, they started abusing that power. So it's just kind of, when you're in a group, you do crazy shit. And just to address John's point, I agree with you. But however, if you look, let's say like ancient Aztecs or Mayans, they were whatever doing stuff to like thousands and thousands of children every single year because they thought it's going to bring him good luck or rain or whatever. So this
Yeah.
stuff has been happening on a crazier scale than this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said
like
that.
for millions of
Yeah,
years.
It's always happened.
Fear.
But the fact that it's still happening today, and it's got done, even though we now know that through science, we now know that the weather, the rain is not dictated by the gods, and yet it still happens. Like I'm not going to forgive what happened thousands of years ago, but like at least ignorance could explain if that's what they thought was the motivation to doing it, then they were doing it because, like, you know what, that child, it can be a necessary evil in order to bring rain. Otherwise, we're all going to starve, right? We're all going to die if the rain doesn't come, the harvest doesn't grow, all that sort of thing. So there's like at least some kind of logical thought process. But these guys today are still doing it, and it's not because they're trying to make the fucking clouds piss. It's because they're smarter than that now, but they still do it anyway. So that to me is like a different argument.
It's innate.
The question is, who taught the Mayans or the Aztecs that was the benefits of sacrificing your children? What devil told them, you know what, if you sacrifice your first children once a week on a Monday, rain will come for your crop?
Quetzalcoatl, or whatever his name is. Quetzalcoatl.
But Nikos, but it's in the Bible too. Was like Abraham was about to kill his firstborn for God.
Yeah, exactly.
Until he was stopped. So
that's what I'm saying.
the Bible.
It starts at one point, though. What I'm trying to get at is it starts from one or a very few people's information that gradually spreads over civilization, and it becomes ritualistic, like similar to what we're witnessing now. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say, like, it all starts from sort of somewhere. It doesn't all. Everyone just doesn't wake up one day and want to kill everybody and have all these.
But maybe it's just.
What if you had the power to give that information to the community?
What percentage of people do you think would be willing? Like in today's day and age, what percentage of people do you? Like I had this conversation with my brother, right? And my brother's like done incredibly well for himself, but he doesn't believe in all this stuff. Even though I've had so much satisfaction saying to him, "You called me crazy when I was 18. You called me crazy when I was 25. Are you looking at the Epstein?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm looking at it." I said, "See, told you." And he's like, "Well," I was like, "Yeah." Anyway, but he's someone who's made a lot of money in his life, right? And I said to him on the phone over Christmas. I said over Christmas when I saw him. I said, what amount of money would it take for you to do something? And I'm not trying to throw him under the bus here, right? And I said, he's made a lot of money, right? But I said, what amount of money would it mean if you had to just not personally do it yourself, but if someone said to you, you can have £1 million right now, but someone that you didn't know, but you knew in your mind and you're conscious that someone somewhere, their daughter or their son, was going to have a horrendous experience and then be unalived, how much money would it take for you to be okay with that? Even though you would never have to do it, you wouldn't have to know who it was, but you would just have to live with the consequences of knowing that someone somewhere is going through that torment. And he went, for me, no amount of money. I went, okay, what about for the average person? And he went,
they do it.
He went, they do it. I went, for how much? And he went, not a lot of money, Sean. He goes, I think because you come from a nice, comfortable existence, you think that I would never do it. I would never do it. Okay. But even £1 billion, no, I wouldn't want to think I got that because of that happening. But he said, I reckon the average person, maybe not the average person, but like 20% of the population would probably do it for like $1,000 because they don't give a shit about people they don't know.
For sure.
And I'm like, really?
1,000%.
You really think that?
For sure.
I mean,
1,000%. Because they care about their own kids first. If there's a choice, my children, my family, or somebody else, a lot of people would make that choice easy because they think about themselves. They would not do it for greed. Like, it's sick to say, okay, I have $1 million, I want one more million, but I'm poor, I have kids. And that money is going to help them.
You do it for a tenner. You do it for a pint of lager and a packet of pork scratchings.
It depends on the person. It depends on.
Some people would. You're saying?
Oh, I think for sure. If they don't know about it, I honestly believe human nature. We're animals inside. Like we have, and like just one thing, Nikos, to your point or your question about like who taught the Aztecs and Mayans, right? Like in the Bible, right? Why did God ask Abraham to sacrifice his firstborn? Because that's the most kind of important thing in his life, right? Your kids are your most precious. So, like Aztecs, Mayans, or all the other cultures, sacrificing your most precious is the test. How far are you willing to go? So I don't think they were kind of told by anybody. It's just, okay, what's your most precious thing? And are you willing to give that up for something else? I just think it comes from that.
Yeah, but wouldn't that be a chain reaction though? Wouldn't the Aztecs have been before, and it could be like a word of mouth, like, oh, this is what the law is to get rain, and it could be just passed through generations, through civilizations, through families, through connections, whatever, you know, like it all has to start from a very small select amount of people deciding that that's the information that you're given, because we can prove today that sacrificing your firstborn doesn't bring rain. So someone lied to somebody somewhere to convince somebody that that was the case.
Maybe
it's sad, man. It's fucking sick. Have you ever
seen as much fucking rain as there has been in the UK in the last month? It's absolutely insane. There's a lot of people are being sacrificed right now because it's pissing down 24 hours a day where I live, all day long.
Same here, mate. We've had a big storm that come over last week. I mean, I think the last few shows I've been on, I've been complaining about the rain, but last week there was a storm called Leonardo, and they actually had to close most of the schools in Spain for like 2 days. Like, luckily I'm on the East Coast, but pretty much anyone on the West Coast or South Coast, like schools were closed on Tuesday, Wednesday. Record floods, like it's crazy for like a January, February. Like it's always cold everywhere, but the amount of cold weather, rain, it's like I said, there's a lot of sacrificing going on somewhere.
It's going on. It's not a sacrifice, but there's definitely some weather modification. Should we do another video? I know, sorry, Eugene, you wanted to finish up.
No, just one thing to your question about kind of that question that you asked your brother, and then I see in the comments somebody said being a good person, like most people are good. I think being good for a lot is a privilege. Like in the Western world, maybe you're right, most people would say no, but I can tell you for a fact, in Eastern Europe, in Russia, in Ukraine, like those societies, if you ask an average person the same question, they'll be like, fuck yeah, just give me the money.
You've got to cherish, your vibration. You've got to cherish your vibration, your frequency. If you're willing to lower your frequency and vibration for a few pounds or a few euros, then you're not worth anything.
That's your God, isn't it? That's your God, right? Money's the God for a lot of people. Let me just quickly do a couple of super chiddly chit chats that have come in. Some super stickers. We got James 119. Big up to you, James.
The first person to ever send us a super sticker.
Was he the first? He's also the most recent. Actually, he's not the most recent. Where's my? How do I get these?
Oh,
there's no. I still haven't got the super sticker. I can do this one instead. That's the best I can do. I need to update. I need to get my choo choo in there. Choo choo to you, James.
I'll be the train from now on. I'll be the train.
We should have our own though, shouldn't we? Not the Spurs talk show.
Yeah, we should have our own one. Yeah, they're not a super sticker train. Should we call it a super sticker? We'll do something else. A super sticker party. I don't know. We'll get something. We'll get something in our own particular one, shall we? Barney is also put in a super sticker as well. Big up to you, Barney. Choo choo to you, my man. Choo choo to you. Thank you very much indeed, Barney. Appreciate it. And Destiny's coming. Big up to you, Desto, moderator in chief. Big up to you, Dest. He's also
one more step closer to Antarctica, and one more foot in the door at Gatwick Airport.
100%, 100%. People do worse for less, Sean, says Danny K. Big up to you, my man. Yeah, listen, maybe your own moral compass. You shouldn't equivocate that with everybody else's. I guess so, but I just think if the entire world, if a higher percentage of the people in the world were willing to do anything for very little, then I think that the world would be, or at least I think the world wouldn't function. I think you have to believe that 80% of the world or 85% of the world are at least willing to conform to society. And I think the people that aren't are either in prison or they're getting away with it, or they live in places where there's lawlessness, and I think the whole point of this was that there is a disproportionate amount of disgusting behavior on one level or another at the highest end of society. If you were to ask 100 random people, what would they do for this? Most of them would say things that you'd be on board with. I think if you were to ask 100 random billionaires and you could see into their minds to know that they're not lying, I think you would see that they're willing to do a lot worse for a lot less than you are.
You've got to value yourself as a man. You've got to value your morals. If God is real and we do go to those pearly gates and you've compromised your passageway into the next life for some money, Like, you're really going to regret that decision. So, you know, maybe choose your decisions wisely while we're here on Earth.
But like, if scientists tell us asteroid is coming and the world is ending tomorrow or in a week, you would see the anarchy that be happening. Like, that's why they
We
don't
don't trust
test the
scientists around
aliens.
here. We don't trust scientists around here.
No, but I'm just saying, like,
Not
if people
anymore.
knew,
Not
people
anymore, we
knew
don't.
that the world is
We're on to
ending,
these scientists. We know what you're about. They come out and
if there
say,
are no
well, it's ending.
consequences,
Bullshit.
people
Alright,
will
listen.
do crazy shit.
Yeah,
There's no
I agree.
consequences.
Of course, if you know that, but that's a level of futility about that, though, right? If you know that you're about to die, then all bets are off. But if you know you've got 50 years left in your plan on your time, are you still going to do something for 20 quid? I don't know. I disagree. Anyway, let's we've done one video in an hour and 5 minutes, so let's
Get on to Epstein for God's sake.
Elon is framed.
You guys remember the Wayfair thing from 2020? Where furniture like these cabinets would be listed at crazy prices like $8,000, $9,000, over $10,000, and the product being girls' names? And a lot of times it would be the same cabinet, but with different names and different prices, with the implication, of course, being, you know. There are also pillows being listed at $9,999 with some very suspicious naming conventions. I'll just put it that way. Now, at the time, the mainstream media, like the BBC, called this a quote-unquote false conspiracy theory. Wayfair responded by saying they use an algorithm to name their products and that some of the cabinets were expensive because they were quote-unquote industrial size meant for commercial and business use. The company's head of global communications, Jane Carpenter, also explained some of the weird pricing to be caused by a feature or workaround where the product would default to a high price like $9,999 until the true price was determined. Well, guess what just came out? There's an email in the Epstein files that shows that Jeffrey Epstein's assistant bought an unnamed item from Wayfair for over $8,000 back in 2018. $8,453 shipped to one Karina Shuliak. She is a whole nother rabbit hole, which we'll get into some other time. But yeah, somebody at Wayfair better go look up this order number and tell us what the heck is going on here, because at this point, it's not enough just to release the files. There needs to be investigations and there needs to be arrests.
So how will we know if this bill has been successful? We will know when there are men, rich men in handcuffs being perp walked to the jail. And until then, this is still a cover-up.
Mate,
it's scandalous. I've got this one, actually. In these files, right, I did see that file that guys mentioned there, that one of the assistants had bought something for $8,500. And everyone's familiar with Wayfair and the Evergreen and the moving of the cargo and stuff like that. But there's actually another company that I was completely oblivious to until recently, until I've started reading these files. And it's Ashley Holdings. Ashley Holdings, Inc., Ashley Furniture, and Ashley Industries. It's not just Wayfair that are doing it. There's multiple companies that are doing it. And that was completely...
selling trash products for several $1,000s.
Several thousands of thousands. I don't know what website they operate. I haven't got the whiteboard because there's so much stuff on it right now. But it's not just Wayfair that are doing this. It's also a company called Ashley Holdings. So we need to look into who owns Ashley Holdings, what their relationship is, their relationship with Evergreen and the cargo ships they're moving and stuff like that. So it potentially could be multiple companies that are operating this ring of trafficking, which is happening.
It's a perfect delivery thing, isn't it? Like, how do you get the girls or the boys from A to B? They have to be delivered somehow. Yeah. Stick them inside a fucking bit of furniture.
Crazy, scandalous, honestly, mate.
And a lot of the names, the actual furniture, the units, are apparently aligned, aren't they, with missing children, apparently?
They're named after the victim. Yeah, they're named after the victim. So it could be like Jessica, like Cabinets Jessica. Maybe what we should do is when we get to the Antarctic Fund, we should deliberate and do a poll whether or not we buy something off of Wayfair for $9,000 or if we should go to Antarctica. see what happens. Just to get the proof, you know? No other reason.
Have the delivery sent to their door.
Sean can have it.
No, I don't want it, mate. I'm fine. Thank you very much.
I think it's some Magnums from the local Londis.
Yeah. Been waiting all day for this. Wait, what's that? No, I didn't want that. I wanted some Magnums, maggity, magster. You know, that didn't turn up. Anyway, let's do another video. I want you to drop that one in there. Was that Eugene?
No, I'm saying too soon.
Too soon. See what this one is.
They are going to divide Oxford into 6 15-minute neighbourhoods.
That's a non-Epstein one. Let's do this one here.
If you look up the word pizza in the Epstein files, there is some weird stuff. Sit down, because I know you won't believe this. Are you sitting? Jeffrey says he wants to go out to a pizza place with you. In parentheses, he did not mention a particular pizza place, but he knows you are in the know on this. What does that mean? They respond, holy shit, I am sitting. As a matter of fact, I am sitting on the number Q subway, making a pilgrimage to DeFara's Pizza in Brooklyn, and then to Tatona's in Coney Island. Never been to either one. Then I need to find a good place for us tonight. The trifecta. I've never done 3 in a day. What? December 13th, 2016. Okay for Bobby Slayton to stay in apartment May 24th through 30th? May 24th. Send pizza to Bobby. May 25th at 10:30 in the morning, order pizza for Bobby Slayton. This is Bobby Slayton, and I will at his Instagram in the comments. And does it even really need to be said? Your pizza is yummy, yummy. Thank you for the pizza today. Really good. Epstein sarcastically sent a text that said Goyam, and then someone else said pizza and grape soda tomorrow for lunch? That's not the only time people say pizza and grape soda. We need to bring back public hangings.
Yeah, it feels like maybe we're not the only people that swap a certain word for grape instead.
Yeah. There's so many files like this in this 3 million that's been dropped. You know, also as well, I don't know if a lot of people are aware, but there's actually 3.4 million that haven't been released.
Nick, I'm just going for a wee, mate.
Yeah, no worries. But there's a particular email from a guy called Roy Hodges. I'm not familiar who the guy is, but there's one particular email that says the crew really appreciated the pizza today. Thank you for letting us do that. Like, you know, like if someone, like say you're at a work party and someone orders you, you know, Domino's pizza or whatever, you don't say thank you for letting us do that in an email to somebody. You won't email your boss saying thank you for letting us do that. You know, like obviously the code word has been discovered, and you know, I think we need to find out who these culprits are. And like that guy said in the video there, you know, we need to bring back public hangings. I'm all for that.
Yeah, but mate, nothing is gonna happen. Just watch.
That's what scares me the most, is that there'll be no repercussions, you know? Like, unfortunately, there's so much scandalous stuff in here. We've yet to see any talk of an arrest. We're yet to see any talk of anybody being questioned. You know, the FBI director in America, was his name Kash Patel, you know, has committed perjury. You know, he come out, last year and said, you know, there's nothing in these files that, you know, makes anybody guilty of crimes and stuff. There's no investigations that's needed. He's done that under oath in front of Congress.
So let's get into people. I don't know if we can, but allegedly, right? Because I know there are a lot of people mentioned, right? A lot of people lied about affiliation, this whole like Bill Gates stuff. And like, I don't know. For me, from what I've seen, there's one person for sure who I know is, I don't know what's the euphemism for the word that we cannot say, who likes kids. Again, I don't know if what we can say, what we cannot say. Can we say allegedly and say names, Sean? Or
sorry, what's the question, mate?
Can we talk about specific names, or is that?
Yeah, go on. Just say allegedly.
So, for example, allegedly, like Woody Allen, for example.
Yeah. Dirty git.
No,
that's not even allegedly, right?
No, but I'm saying like, given his
victim.
emails, his name, and then I know who he is and what he does, like no question, right? When I see, let's say, for example, like Stephen Hawking, who went to the island, it's like, Bill Gates, I'm sure something happened, whether that makes him...
Dirty little git, allegedly. Dirty little horrendous fucking piece of vile human scum, allegedly. Fuck you, allegedly. Fuck you, allegedly.
But I just think a lot of people in those circles, they went there to party for fun. But like in my mind, it doesn't implicate them in actually like doing stuff to children. They just maybe went there for like escorts, whatever. Like, I don't know, you know what I mean? Again, that's morality. But as far as proof of crimes specifically, I don't know.
A lot of these emails are after he's been convicted of being a PDF file sex trafficker. So any of these rich and powerful people that have gone and met him or asked to go to his island, or like Elon begged to go to his island and stuff like that, after he's been convicted of what he's doing, they should be questioned. They should, because they know what he's about. He's got obviously a public trial that is high profile. these people can't be like, oh, well, you know, maybe he was a nice guy and he had good parties and he had a nice house. These are billionaires.
Take me
You know,
to
like,
the
they can't-
island. I
there's
want
some-
to go to the island.
That image is going to be etched in my brain forever, unfortunately. That guy at the island in his wheelchair.
Oh, listen, Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks. You got to go and look up. What's the name of that geezer?
Isaac Cappy.
What's his name?
Isaac Cappy.
Isaac Cappy. Yeah, go and look up Isaac Cappy. Right, this geezer was like an actor, and then he found out all this stuff, and he was like, yeah, Tom Hanks. Dirty little guy. He was like, this guy is this that allegedly PDF allegedly, and yeah, I mean, just go and look up Isaac Cappy if you guys want some homework, guys. There's 220 people in the house, right? 220, and I want to say massive thank you to everyone. This is by far the best numbers we've ever had. Obviously, we're a small channel, but my man Nikos is you know he is a legend of the conspiracy circuit. He's just started his own channel. I've just plugged it. We plug it again. I need all of you guys that are watching this that have access to the comment section. Just click that link. It's there, tinfoil, youtube.com @tinfoil transmission. I think he's on about 65 subs. He's just getting going. He's put his first couple of videos out. Please get over and show some support and love to Nikos. He's going to be doing probably more frequently than I can, but you know, get over there and support him as well. Big up to you, Nikos. Let me just quickly do a couple more super chiddly chit chats, guys, and then we can crack on again, carry on. It's easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle, says Sean Michael, than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of God. Yeah, do you know what, mate? I'm gonna go back and read the Bible, I think, because I feel like sometimes you find what you're looking for through the weirdest ways. And I feel like I realize now. I know that Eugene doesn't agree, and that's fine. I don't disagree with Eugene's take, by the way. I think it's a reasonable stance that you think just people are driven to things through desperation or whatever. But I definitely think that there's too high a frequency of people at the top that I believe are into the weirdest things ever. And I think those people believe in, they clearly are, well, either they don't believe in God, but they certainly believe in a spirit world. Maybe it's different. Maybe the spirit world isn't like an afterlife, heaven and hell. Maybe they just know that there's aliens out there or whatever that work in a different realm, and that they think that they've been told that there is no heaven or hell, right? So when you die, you die. So listen, if you help these guys, if you do what they want, then they'll give you all of humanity's, you know, riches. And so that maybe they're working in knowledge that there is no afterlife. When you die, that's it. But for me, I believe that the Bible has warned us about all this shit. And I see it every day. 666, right? CERN, what they're into. Their logo is 666. Look at where the World Economic Forum, their logo is 666. I believe that the Bible warns you about this shit, and it was written a long time ago. So I think I'm going to go back and read the Bible and see if I can make sense of it. Big up to you, Sean Michael, sexy boy, because that was definitely also from the Bible as well. A user says, sold their souls to the devil.
Yeah. What if the devil's promised them that he will fight God on their behalf, and they believe there's going to be a battle between good and evil, and they're, you know, potentially going to be on the right side of it? So these, you know, deprived acts that they take part in is their commitment to that. You know, what if they're sold this kind of belief system as opposed to?
Well, they're certainly winning the battle on Earth, aren't they? They are winning the battle.
They seem to be. Yeah, I wouldn't argue that, to be honest, right now. To be honest. Yeah, but what if they're sold that belief system through their programming, their indoctrination, their religions, or whatever it is that, you know, I'm not too informed of all of what their beliefs are, but what if they're told that, you know, there will be a war at some point and we're going to win this war? And, you know, even though chances are that God always wins, you know, but they still believe the more they have their strength in their numbers and the more corrupt they are, the more corruption they do, the better chance they have of succeeding, you know? Like, what if they're sold that kind of dream? I don't know. That's just one thing you mentioned there about the Isaac Cappy thing as well. A lot of people might be familiar with him. Some might not be, but, you know, he was alleged to have had to deliver a minor to Tom Hanks. That's why the connection between Isaac Cappy and Tom Hanks comes in, is he was alleged, he'd done lots of confession videos and he was tiptoeing around the subject as well, very much like we are tonight on this show. But he was alleged to have had to deliver and had a moral compass that kind of like got the better of him. But he was best friends with a guy called Seth Green. He was in Austin Powers. He was Dr. Evil's son. He was also the creator of is it Robot Chicken? It's like a cartoon kind of like animated TV show that come out in the early 2000s and stuff like that, which has got a lot of like subconscious subliminal programming in it as well. But yeah, Isaac
the number one movie for me that summarizes, and it's a Disney movie by the way, was Monsters Inc.
Yeah.
Right, that whole idea of Monsters Inc. Right, monsters going into children's bedrooms and terrifying them and then capturing their fear. Isn't that what adrenochrome is about? That's that whole concept, right? You terrorize children and then you capture their fear because that's the energy, that's the oil of the monster's world. That's that whole film. Right, when I watched it back the other day, maybe about 6 months ago. I was like, holy shit. Like, you know, didn't realize, but that's like 1,000,000% Monsters Inc. is the whole adrenochrome story. John, you haven't spoken for ages, mate. What are you saying, John?
What am I saying? What on what?
Have you seen Monsters Inc.?
I haven't seen it. No, first time I've heard about what the story is. But yeah, the Cappy thing. That's a while back now, isn't it? I think he started coming out with all of these revelations about Seth Green, and he was talking in code, wasn't he, about children being referred to as chicken and things like that, and different types of foods. And he spoke about allegedly Hanks and Steven Spielberg and some other people, Seth Green. Yeah, and he was talking, wasn't he, in ways of saying, like, you know, he's not frightened for his life, but he is under threat, and he doesn't know, like, if he's going to be around much longer. And then apparently
he fell off a bridge, didn't he, or something, or pushed off a bridge, whatever.
Yeah, was it on a motorway? Yeah, apparently then that was one of the last things that he mentioned. So
some people believe he's gone into like witness protection. Some people believe he died. Some, you know, don't quite know the full story and what actually happened to him. But he's definitely dropped off the map, literally, no pun intended.
This all came from that video, didn't it, in YouTube? On YouTube, I think it was early on in the lockdowns, called "Out of Shadows." Do you guys see that?
No.
About 4 hours long, and it was about a guy who worked in Hollywood. I think he was a stuntman. I might be wrong there, but apparently he went to a member of staff who worked in conjunction with actors, stunt people who did pelvic floor physical therapy and so on. And he went to her and he said, like, I, you know, work in the film industry. And she said, like, oh my God, you're going to need a lot of help with your pelvic floor and your internal trauma, the things you must have experienced and been around. And that's when it started coming out. And that, what's the woman's name? The news anchor in America, when she started talking about Epstein, and they told her they couldn't run the story.
Oh yeah. She was just pissed off she didn't get the scoop.
Yeah.
She wasn't pissed off about it. She wasn't like, oh, those poor kids. She was like, poor me. I could have fucking blown up as a consequence of that, which I guess plays into what Eugene's saying, which is everyone's kind of out for themselves on some level, aren't they?
She had the story, but her editor controlled her from not putting it out. So they actually had the information, but they stopped her putting it out.
It was all about that. And he started talking about the, you know, the goings on in Hollywood and about the trafficking and so on, and about the abuse of minors and people of all ages. You know, how people are brought into it and told, you know, you can be put in the spotlight or not if you're going to go along with these things. So yeah, that's I don't know if it's still out there, but it's probably about 4 hours long.
What's it called?
It's called
Out of Shadows.
It's gone on the whiteboard, John. It's gone on the whiteboard.
I've got my own whiteboard now as well. Got my own whiteboard.
Mate, with this week, the whiteboard's so busy, I need to buy another whiteboard.
Yeah, well, listen. But,
that's what
we're doing out here. We'll throw a couple of quid from the super chat kitty towards whiteboards.
Nick's whiteboards, yeah.
Let me just get these last 3 super chats. And boy, big up to everyone putting the super chats in, because I think this channel's never going to make any money through ad revenue. So the Antarctica Fund is still growing. Thank you so much, everybody. We appreciate you all. Ian Anderson has put in his super sticker. I still haven't got the choo choo sound. I need to get a choo choo noise. Choo choo to you, buddy. Choo choo to you, Ian. Thank you very much indeed. Finn McMullen said, deep dive into Germany, Nazi post World War II, building deep state NASA, engineers, contractors for most of Lockheed, DUMBs, deep underground military bases. They are who controls all, not Israel. Big up to you, Finn. Big up to you, Finn. Israel, listen, we haven't really spoken about Israel tonight. I don't think it's necessary, to be honest. I mean, I'm sure it will come up a little bit because I've seen a lot of people on, I've seen like geezers on Talks, not Talk Sport, Talk, what's the talk program? The talk show, this like, with that geek, it's a radio program. And that they're all trying to make out, like all of these people now are trying to make out that like all the Epstein files clearly put a link between Epstein and Russia. And I'm like,
of course,
what's going on there? We're pretty sure in all of the emails, he makes it entirely obvious who he's working with and for. But you know why? Because these people are also bought and paid for, in my opinion. But we're not going to go down that way. But listen,
here's an interesting one. If you want to talk about Israel, let's talk about it quickly. In the Epstein files, there's there's receipts for his Xbox Live account, and he's got
shut down by Bill Gates.
He got shut down by Bill Gates after the STD emails and stuff like that. But he actually has other ones. Yeah, and his account basically stopped working. It was called Little St. James 1, and it stopped working like a month before he got arrested and whatever, and went to prison and whatever in America. It became active in Tel Aviv up until the end of last year. So he basically had a Fortnite account. And
we're saying he's still alive, yeah?
I'm just saying, like, you brought it up, like he's.
I think he's still alive. I said this before. We got closed out. We got completely shut down because I said it, because I showed the picture.
Exactly.
The guy that was on the gurney was absolutely not the guy that was supposed to be on the gurney.
Well, this actually brings me on to the next bit. Actually, John shared something in the WhatsApp group today. You may have seen, but there's been a picture of him allegedly in Tel Aviv with security forces, with the earpiece and stuff like that, with a big beard and glasses and stuff like that. And they've done facial recognition.
He's grown a beard, is he? Really?
Big grey beard. And they've actually done put it through an AI machine to see if it's AI, and it's not AI. And they've done facial recognition on it without the beard. And they're like a 98% hit rate that it's him.
Really?
So he's actually potentially being harboured in Tel Aviv by Israel. I'm just saying, you brought it up. I'm just saying that's what is in.
Let's just say, hold on. So it's like everything else. Let's use our brains for a bit. So the guy, there's some crazy conspiracy to hide him. He's alive. It's all done. Like nobody knows. And then he uses his old Fortnite account to play Fortnite all of a sudden. Come on now. Like that's silly.
Where's the I'm looking through the rabbit hole picture. Where is it?
Oh, I'll send it to you. I'll send it to Nikos.
Wait, John, it's like the Joe Biden was killed by, like, you know,
the Joe Biden that was alive at the end was absolutely not the Joe Biden that was alive in the 90s. 100%. You can always tell by the ears, bro. The lobes give it away. If you've got a dangly lobe like mine, then there's one type of person.
I'm not arguing it. I'm talking about the Fortnite.
You've got the earlobe that connects to your skin. Do any of you guys got normal different earlobes to mine? I've got the dangly bit. You got a bit dangly there. Yeah, Epstein's earlobes were different, and so were Biden's.
My dangly bits.
100%.
He might be alive. I'm talking about
100%.
The Fortnite account.
There was the minute that was blocked off. He was thrown out of there. There was even it was in 4chan. The guy said, "Guys, holy shit! I just saw him getting wheeled out."
Yeah, that guy. They actually did that.
He's definitely alive. Definitely alive.
That guy who put that 4chan post up. Like, he was just a correctional officer. He put it out there. He didn't think anyone would see it. He didn't think he'd get any attention. But 2 days later, he had the FBI at his door asking him, and they've done a background check on him. They've done an employment check on him and a financial record check on him to prove that he worked for that particular correctional facility. He was working on that particular day, and that he's got payment checks from.
I'm pretty sure he's now unalive. He's now gone missing, right?
Disappeared. Yeah, I can't remember what his name was. I had his name written down somewhere. It was SWA18WIF on 4chan. I've got it all.
Yeah, listen, you guys, whoever it was that was on the show the other day, I said Epstein is 100% still alive, and then someone in the chat, I think it was you, Destiny. Someone that I'm close with although I've never met, but someone that I'd like is a name that's very much like an ever-present was like, of course he's not alive. I was like, no, I fucking think he is. I'm pretty sure he's alive, you know? Guy's got too much going on. I think that geezer, it was like, I almost think that it was not him that worked for Israel. I think it's Israel that worked for him.
No, I told you, Sean.
I think he was like above. I think he was a pro.
Let me
and you
ask
were
you
telling
this.
me that it was all Max Gillane.
That's what
Let me ask you this. Okay, Eugene, let me ask you this question, okay? If hypothetically they have been harboring him since he escaped from prison and they moved him from the US to Israel, what should be the repercussions?
Where there's no extradition policy, by the way.
Where there's no, for paedophiles, by the way. There's actually in law there's no extradition.
You just said the word, mate. You just said the word. Yeah, fuck it. Fuck it. We're done. We're done out here.
But let me honestly, on a serious note, like if that was another country doing it to another country, what should be the repercussions for them, that cover up and that whole operation for them to move him back there? Like what should be the accountable result?
I mean, no, I have no idea. I mean, who moved them? The CIA moved them?
Well, then he's someone's moved him. If because it's 98% accurate. So the photos that went out on the internet this week, I'm sure you don't. But if it is true, like I said, hypothetically, if it is, and it says 98% computer match, and there, you know, there's actually like evidence now of his computer accounts being active in Tel Aviv. Let's just say hypothetically, again, not to be biased, but if there is proof and it does turn out to be the case, who and what should be the accountability of that?
I don't know. I mean, there were Israeli spies spying for Israel on America. Like, there were people who did so much worse. And when I say worse, I mean not like on the human level, but worse meaning like if you look at, you know, like stealing secrets and stuff like that, and nothing was really done. So
if you could just answer my question, that'd be great.
I don't know. Like, but nothing's gonna happen. I don't know. Like he would again.
We're saying if hypothetically he has been moved from a correctional facility in New York and is now being harbored by somebody in Tel Aviv, and it turns out to be a government operation, what should be the
and Israel is protecting him. What's your opinion on Israel?
Because the photos got him with security forces too.
No, that's what they would be doing. I mean, that's what, like, I wouldn't be surprised. Are you asking me? Like, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, of course, he'll go to prison.
I just want to know what someone's opinion would be of, like, again, like what you would think.
I mean, are we going to go to war with him? No, nothing is going to happen. Like, as far as the relationship between the countries, like governments, if Israel is hiding Epstein, the U.S. knows about it. That 1,000% sure. So nothing is going to happen. Again, like as I said in the last episode.
What would you have if you were in charge of the decision?
I don't know. I mean,
someone's got to put a signature on that kind of operation. Someone has to sign off on it. That's not just like a couple of guys that conspire to break people out across the world on false passports.
Let's be entirely honest, Nicholas. Let's not put him into a corner. But Trump 1,000,000% has come out and said, look, now that I've been cleared of all wrongdoing, can we move on? Has he been cleared of all wrongdoing? All of the accusations, right?
Nobody has been.
My people that were talking about horrendous stuff. Like he said to someone, if you don't shut your mouth, you'll be in the fertilizer at the back of the Mar-a-Lago 9th hole, like the rest of those CUNTs. Yeah. Like, obviously they haven't been investigated because he's the president, but also, if there's 6 million files that could have been released and 3 million of them haven't been, what, are we supposed to just take you on your word? Are we that those 3 million files are all files that can't have been shown for the purposes of dignity and all that stuff? Absolute bollocks. Like, I want to get back to some of this footage because there's files out there with, like, you know, there's no reason to protect the sender of an email that says, oh, thanks for sending that torture video. I fucking loved it. Like, who are you protecting by not seeing who wrote that email? You're not protecting a victim. You're protecting someone who said, thanks for sending me the torture video. Like, why hasn't that been, why was that redacted?
It starts another conspiracy, doesn't it? It starts another conspiracy. They can't put these names on these emails. People's next question is, okay, that's great. Good. Okay, now who's this then?
Yeah. Just last thing. Since Nikos opened up the can of worms, it's like asking somebody, do you beat your wife or whatever? Or like, what's the question? It's the guy who wrote a book on Epstein, who I talked about last time. He said that Epstein was a free agent, right? He didn't work for a specific agency. He worked with everybody, with Mossad, CIA, KGB. So people who are saying that he worked with KGB, I'm sure it's not wrong. He worked with everybody because he had dirt on everybody. So if he is hiding in Israel or anywhere else, CIA knows about it, MI6 knows about it, because the guy, he worked with everybody. He's not an asset of a certain intelligence agency, right? He's a free agent who worked for everybody. So saying what should the US do, they know 1,000%. MI6 knows, CIA knows, KGB knows. If he's alive, everybody knows about it because he's not a Mossad agent. He worked with them just like he worked with CIA, and the CIA are the ones who put him in power initially. So he's just a guy who did things for everybody. So
yeah. But if you was a taxpayer, for example, who was paying for these kind of operations with your hard-earned tax dollars, you expect some type of like accountability for something like that. You know, this is one of the most high-profile criminals.
Nikos, he's not going to give you the gotcha that you want, mate. So
I don't want a gotcha. I just wanted to say, you know what? Yeah, that's kind of bad. They shouldn't be doing that, and they should be held in prison for.
He's not going to. It's fine. Let's super chats. PMG 1986. Big up to you, PMG. £1.99 super sticker. Big up to you, my man. Choo choo to you, buddy. Choo choo to you. And James _119 has put in a whiteboard fund. Big up to you, my man. We're starting the whiteboard fund on the way to the White Cliffs of Antarctica. Big up to you as well, James. Very cool. Appreciate you all. It's 230, nearly 240 people here right now. New record high, guys. New record high. Listen, this channel is not going to get any reach. So if you are out there and you speak to people and say, listen, there's a cool channel and we talk about all sorts of crazy shit, spread the word that way. Share the video because it's not gonna, the YouTube ain't gonna share this one around. This channel is only going to grow with your help, guys. So
organic.
Yeah, and don't forget to subscribe to Nikos's channel as well, which is right here. Let's get back and have another look at another video, shall we? Just see where we go with this one. We've done this one already.
If you look up the word pizza,
done that one.
Yeah.
Oh, let's look at this one here.
The Epstein files contain a viral 4chan post from an anonymous individual who claims they witnessed seeing Epstein wheelchaired out of his cell on the night he passed away. Here's the 4chan post, and as you can see, it was uploaded the morning Epstein passed away. It says, not saying anything after this. Please don't try to dox me, but last night after the 4:15 count, they took him medical in a wheelchair, front cuffed, but not one triage nurse said they spoke to him. Next thing we know, a trip van shows up. We do not do releases on the weekends unless a judge orders it. Next thing we know, he's put in a single man cell and hangs himself. Here's the thing, the trip van did not sign in and we did not record the plate number, and a guy in a green dress military outfit was in the back of the van according to the tower guy who let him through the gate. You guys, I am shaking right now, but I think they might have switched him out. Now take a look at the numbers up top right there. As you can see, the exact same post, word for word, was uploaded with the Epstein files. The numbers right there are the exact same as well. The SDNY took this post very seriously. They opened up an investigation to find out who the guy was that made it a day after it was posted. He's been identified as Roberto Grijalva, an MCC officer who worked at the jail Epstein passed away in. His name was revealed in his banking records as part of the SDNY's grand jury filing. His name also appears in other Epstein files involving interviews relating to this prison, but it's been confirmed he worked there when Epstein passed away. Separately, and this part is 100% confirmed, Epstein's body was removed from his cell and taken to a hospital. This means crime scene investigators and the medical examiner did not examine the body in place.
I think we sort of covered that one, didn't we, a minute ago, though?
Pretty much covered that word for word, yeah. That's pretty much that's what the guy said. They've backed it all up in the files. They've put the evidence in the background checks. You know, if this wasn't a serious guy, they wouldn't even mention it in the files. But the fact they've checked him out, done a background check on him, done the banking check, checked the employment date and time that he was in the prison, he was there. So this random person, what I feel sad about this guy is he actually posted it anonymously. And his life has probably been turned absolutely upside down for one post on the internet. So if there's any lesson to be learned here, it's be careful what you put on the internet.
I have a question for you guys.
Sure.
Too late for that, mate. Too late for that one. That ship has sailed, bro.
Unless you're willing to be interrogated by the FBI.
Oh, listen, they're listening. There's 245 people here right now. I'd say at least 45 of them are like 5 minutes away from my house or John's house on Little Cock Lane. Was it Turkey Cock Lane? John?
Cock Lane.
It certainly is, yeah. They might be right on the bell end as we speak.
Yeah. Actually, there's another guy. There's another thing actually of interest, which is kind of a bit more lighthearted, but on the same subject. There was a guy who actually tried to sneak onto Epstein's island quite recently. He's a big YouTuber. Nah, it's not you, not Lubo.
I've got a video. I think I've got a video on here. I think I've got a video about people that snuck on recently. Let's have a look. See which one it is. I think it's here.
Yeah.
I think it might be here. Hang on a second. Was it this one here?
And when the real founder.
No, we'll come back to that one.
That's the Bitcoin one. That's the Bitcoin one. We'll come to that later.
Oh yeah, we got to come to that, haven't we?
Got to come to that
because Bitcoin's getting absolutely decimated. It's falling from 125k. What is it now? 50k.
59. Yes.
We'll talk about it. That's not.
There's also the cyclical seasonality of the crypto winter, right? So it's going to get bad until December of next year. It's going to bottom at 25,000. It's going to bottom at 25,000 US dollars a coin, and then it's going to rip higher again for the next 3 years. Don't know about that. Just hang on tight, people. Hang on tight.
That video that you brought up there was a guy called Dan Penner, and Dan Penner said about 10 years ago, he said, if you actually knew who owned Bitcoin and who run Bitcoin, it would go to zero. Dan Penner, he would go to zero.
And when the real.
Sorry, Sonny, let's go.
Yeah, play it if you want. I'll explain it.
And when the real founder of Bitcoin comes out, Bitcoin will go to fucking zero.
The world's largest cryptocurrency at its lowest level, $500 billion in crypto market cap gone. Where you've got Michael Burry, the big short investor who called the 2008 financial crisis, warning of a potential death spiral.
The guy's an idiot.
He's an idiot. This is a very, very wealthy man, and he's in financial circles. But in that particular video, he says that's just a clip of it. He says, I've met him. I know who it is for a fact, 100%. And if you knew who he was, Bitcoin would go to zero in a second. Now, for the last 10 years of being involved with cryptocurrency and Bitcoin, everyone's assumed that person is Vladimir Putin and is Russia. That's what everyone's assumed for the last 10 years, as far as best of my knowledge is. What if now, with all this information that's come out this week with his connection to cryptocurrency, that person actually happens to be Jeffrey Epstein?
I think Jeffrey Epstein is the devil.
Nobody thought it was Putin. Where'd you hear that? I have never.
Again, a lot of people have speculated what person could Dan Penner be referring to that could make Bitcoin go to zero in a millisecond?
Nobody can, though. That's the point.
Yeah,
nobody can make.
I think that Nikos and Eugene are like the Stellan Savra of the Spurs.
If you look at technology, like
if I say blue, he says red. This is how it is.
No, but
the point I'm making is like in these files now, it's quite clear that Epstein's been involved with Bitcoin since 2008. There's an email between him and Ghislaine Maxwell saying about the pseudonym Satoshi has worked wonders. Our golden egg is ready to be released, or something like this. You know, there's emails saying, bringing him back long before any of us have ever heard of it. So what if Dan Penner is referring in that video to Jeffrey Epstein as opposed to
no one's going to
Putin or anyone else? You know,
no one's going to care. No one's going to care as long as Bitcoin, as long as Bitcoin doesn't go to zero between now and December, it will rally again.
It'll go to 2030. 2030.
It'll go 25k. It will bottom out at 25k, then it will rally to 200k.
The Fibonacci 786 is $27,000. So we're going to forecast the future here. That's what I would say. 27,000 is the lowest.
100%. By definition, Bitcoin is not. It cannot be controlled by a single person or group of people.
Here we go.
It can. And if Satoshi owns 40 million coins, so
yeah.
Well,
in this file,
5 million coins, whatever it is.
Yeah. In this file, it actually says, I've got the quote here if you want to find it, because I mentioned it on my channel the other day. Israel, April 25th, 2015, and this is not me doing my thing, but he says Israel took control of Bitcoin by paying the salaries of 3 of the 5 key developers in 2015. As Bitcoin, no, but let me finish the quote, and then you can speak me out. Right? This is the quote from 2015. It's in the files. It's not me. I'm making it up. I'm not just trying to cause a party. This is what it is. April 25th, 2015. As Bitcoin and digital currencies have started to become an important trend, Media Labs has launched an intervention. And the way Bitcoin is organized, there are 5 key developers and 100 contributors. Linksys have decided that the changes can be made now by us to the core code.
Yeah.
That is in the file. That's them submitting that they have control of Bitcoin since 2015.
you can have different branches. You can branch out, but there is
They
no
changed
one
the code.
group. They're minors, right? There are 3 different groups that have to work in sync in order for anything to change. No one group or
It says
person
that
can.
Israel took control of Bitcoin by paying the salaries of 3 of the 5 developers.
But
So they've had
developers
it.
don't control Bitcoin, Nikos. That's the whole point. Developers do
Well,
not control
the
it.
miners just mine, but the developers have the code. So the point is, like,
There's no code.
Let's not make it a big
anyway, I'm just saying that's in the file that's allegedly what they've done. I'm just saying that's in there. So,
all right, let's get back to it. What's this one?
I give you permission to kill him. He's apparently with blank, he lied to you, and he lied to me. Jeffrey Epstein gave that okay to murder someone in an email sent in 2014. But there are so many references to murders and deaths in the Epstein files it boggles the mind. See, you can see here someone named Eva Dubin says Mary Kennedy found dead in her backyard, ... And Epstein replies to that email and says, whoops, which to me definitely sounds like some sort of admission of guilt. Then you've got this email here. Then you've got this email right here, which states back in the 90s, Ghislaine Maxwell recruited a girl for a modeling career. Instead of modeling, she was sold as a slave for sex and torture. Prince Andrew was an accessory to her death as he tortured her and me to force her murder. Basically making the allegation that Prince Andrew is culpable in a trafficked woman's murder. There's also this email, which I'll cover more in depth soon, but basically it states this is sensitive, so it will be the first and last email depending on your discretion. You can choose to take it or trash it, but this comes from a person that has been there and seen it all as a former member at the Zorro. I think that's what it says, I can't remember, or an employee at Zorro Ranch. The material below was taken from the Jeffrey Epstein home as my insurance. Then you can see right here he lists 7 different videos, audio, recordings that he claims show Epstein with others, including threesomes, having sex with minors. I'm assuming there would be some powerful people in those images and videos. But as you can see right here, it says, what is damning about Jeffrey Epstein is yet to be written. Did you know somewhere in the hills outside the Zorro, 2 foreign girls were buried on orders of Jeffrey and Madam G? Both died by strangulation during rough fetish sex. I mean, right now I could go through dozens, if not hundreds of messages and emails that allude to potential murders or victims who were silenced, victims who were killed, even investigators. I'm very good friends and I've worked on a project with this investigative journalist for the past 2 years who actually was very involved with Epstein, and he just saw today, he sent me a message, that Epstein had actually mentioned this guy to his team and had sent his team basically a bolo alert, like be on the lookout for this guy, this investigative journalist who's asking questions. So it's genuinely really scary shit. But let me remind you, the DOJ, Pam Bondi, all of those individuals right now are trying to claim that there is no further investigation needed. They reiterated it today, they are still claiming Epstein never trafficked a single girl to a single person, and they said that there's nothing worth looking into out of all of these different files. So fuck the DOJ, fuck the FBI, fuck the current administration. They are lying pieces of shit.
That guy's just demonetized this entire video 100%.
And his own.
Well done, bro. Well done. Yeah, look, I mean this notion that there's nothing in the files that you can go after. I want to find this where's the one about? Let me get.
Let me ask you a question. Like in a court of law, an email, it's evidence, right? You can use emails as a fact of evidence. It's credible evidence, right? It's a communication dialogue.
If it's explicit, if the crime's explicit, right? But not if it's like if it's
if there's like an allegation like that, you can build a case on it because you've got like the initial foundation for evidence. So like there could be investigations based off some of these emails alone, right? Because it's permissible in court. I don't know. But I'm sure. I mean, some of the stuff I'm reading, there's some wild stuff. Like there must be crimes here and everywhere.
But it gets weird. It's like the WikiLeaks stuff was never like prosecuted because then in court it becomes, how did you obtain this info? Was it legally obtained? There is this whole like complicated thing about the law. So honestly, like, I have no idea. I'm sure they're going to find some loopholes not to admit it.
But if the Justice Department have put it out, then it's like, where'd you get this? Justice Department's public information. The what's it called? The Epstein Transparency Act that was signed by Congress and by bipartisan law. Like, it's like, where did you get this from? Like, here. it's not like, oh, how did you get that loophole? You know, you can't know this stuff.
Yeah,
I'm sure in these files, mate, there must be millions of crimes. There must be, and if not crimes, there must be foundations for investigations. If absolutely nothing else.
the DOJ is incompetent. I think the bad guys are smarter than the good guys every single time. I just think the DOJ, if they're not corrupt, they're just incompetent.
Here's one for you, right? Here's one for you guys. Look at this. Who is this guy? Earl Anthony. Earl Anthony. What's his name? Earl Anthony Wayne, ex-US ambassador to Mexico, accused of an 11-year-old girl in Epstein files. Right. Look at this. It says this is an article. You may want to question this. This is from a guy in America. Sorry, a guy in Mexico who's the part above this in the email was even wilder. Right, it's absolutely wild. But it says here, you may want to question the ex-US ambassador to Mexico, Mr. Earl Anthony Wayne, about his involvement with an underage girl when he attended and was arrested by the federal police. We believe that Marcinko and Epstein were involved organizing this party, and it was held in Juarez, Mexico in 2014 at a US consulate-controlled housing facility. Ask him how he knows Richard Marcinko. He was sentenced in Mexico in 2017 to a life sentence. This is this guy, Earl Anthony whatever. A life sentence for impregnating an 11-year-old. Her son's DNA matches Wayne's 100%, but he is allowing an ex-US Marine to stand in his place to serve his life sentence in Mexico. That was an agreement worked out between our US State Department and a judge in Mexico after a huge payoff. Mr. Anthony has an outstanding arrest warrant here in Mexico for avoiding sentencing. His cell number is yada, yada, yada. I want to confirm that this phone call will be using with sweat for malware and keyloggers. After our call, you'll understand why we are so concerned with secure communications here. Now, this geezer, right? This geezer here, I looked him up. He currently works in DC at the American University. Here we go. This is the guy. So he's currently there. He's currently working in DC at the American University as like some resident there. So they know where he lives. They know where he works. He's in Washington, DC. That guy at the very least should be arrested immediately, right? For that.
Yeah.
Like all the rest of it, a lot of the accusations are about people that are dead or whatever else. But that guy is currently in Washington, DC, allegedly. And allegedly these people know that he's got 100% the same DNA as the child of the woman who was 11 at the time.
Yeah, I mean, you can prove it with DNA. So, yeah.
Disgusting.
Absolutely. It also means that people in Washington are corrupt. They've allowed him, because you can't get a job in Washington, D.C. without an absolute huge background check. If that's on your background check, you're not getting it. Well, maybe you are, but you shouldn't get a job in high profile positions, I would have thought.
We've got a £10 super sticker here. Sorry, John. Nick, 1 second, mate. Ghislaine, this is from Finn McMullen. Says, thank you very much, mate. Very generous. He says, Ghislaine and the Terra Mar project were obsessed with Atlantis and building, funding for ocean research. The deep state hold all the power. Their technology, like TR3B, is unmatchable, more powerful than anything. What are you saying, Eugene?
Oh, that's spot on. And Nikos and I, that's something that we agreed on. Again, this was talked about in the book that this guy wrote. She was obsessed with like ocean, whatever research. Yeah, spot on.
Terra Mar project.
Yeah, terramar.org was their website.
What is it?
This is where she got her submarine license for.
Oh, I thought she got a submarine license so she could fucking traffic kids into the island without people seeing them.
Maybe Terramar.org could be the organisation they use, which had a lot of public funding and government funding to actually pay for it. But yeah, she worked for them, and yeah, I agree with what Finn's saying there. But Finn needs to change his profile picture because he's showing one eye.
Oh, Finn, you're giving the game away, mate. You're part of Eugene's crew.
Hey,
Mossad.
There you go. That's how they do
Big
it.
up, Chieftain. Thank you very much for that super chat, my man. Appreciate you.
Thank
buddy.
you, sir.
Very good. Should we get another video? All right? Should we do another video? You're right, John. You're very quiet, mate.
Yeah, I'm going to get going soon. I want to go to the gym, so I'm not going to be around much longer. Not in an Isaac happy way, much longer, but
10 o'clock gym. 10 o'clock gym.
Yeah, there's hardly anyone in there, so it's a good time to go.
On Turkey Cock Lane, that's called dogging.
The dogging on the Turkey Cock Lane.
So Cock Lane doing some dogging.
Hopefully.
Should we let you go now, John, or do you want to stay for a little bit longer?
How long are you guys going to hang around for? You're going to do another 2 hours?
Yeah, I'm here all night, mate, for this. This is what I've been waiting for. So long as Sean's got energy for it and he's feeling up to it, and yeah, I'm here for it, mate. We've not even touched the surface, to be honest. And we've been
we'll do a part B. We'll do a part 2 on Sunday.
Yeah,
Tomorrow's
not even
football day.
sides.
Yeah, I need to get something to eat. Though I'm pretty hungry. Let's do another. Yeah, do you want to stay, John, or should we say goodbye to you now? It's up to you, mate.
Yeah, go on. Let's see this one.
All right, let's see this video. All right, where we going with this one?
Oh, here we go. Goyim were born to only serve us, he said in a 2010 sermon. Without that, they have no place in the world, only to serve the people of Israel. Guys, this is insane.
I cut that one off. I know it annoys Nick Eugene. But I don't understand why these people on LBC, Leading Britain's Conversation, that's the radio station, why Andrew Marr is coming out saying, oh, it's pretty obvious that he really works for Russia. We're doing the Russia hoax thing again. It's very obvious to me where this man's allegiances lie. Just saying. You know? Goyim is a pretty very unipolar word that certain people use about other people, right? Is that fair?
It's a Yiddish word, yep, used for non-Jews. The Jews use for non-Jews.
Yeah, you know, man doesn't like the rest of us.
But it's not like a demeaning word. It's like us versus them, right? It's so.
That word comes up a lot in these files. Like that particular word there, Goyim, comes up a lot in these files. I don't know the origins of it, but I've noticed it a lot.
Oh, let's see what else he's got going on.
A fundamental part of money, which is called fractionalized banking. And fractionalized banking is something that finance people understand, and the people on the street, and when I say people on the street, that's where I was when I started on Wall Street, would find it impossible to believe. Impossible. Why? Bannon Bank, I give you $1, just one single dollar. In our system of banking, I would say, okay, Steve, I gave you $1. How much could you lend out to your friends? And your natural reaction would be probably something less than $1 because I want to keep something in my pocket. The way our system works is if you as a bank are holding my dollar, you can lend out an additional $8 or $9. No, it's impossible. I only have $1, Jeffrey. We have something called fractionalized reserves, which is if you have 1, you can lend out 9. That's the way our system works. And so not only do world leaders not understand banking, but the man on the street, my father who worked in the park department, it would be beyond his imagination that people could lend out more money than they actually had in their pocket. If the public understood that the bank really doesn't have their money at any one time, it's one of the things during the Depression, there were runs on the bank. The reason the banks don't keep much money in the actual bank is they assume that not everyone's going to want their money on the same day. So it's not really the fear of inflation. The fear is a run on the bank. Everybody wants to take out something that doesn't really exist.
This guy's a fucking idiot. If he thinks people don't realize that by now,
yeah,
he's not that smart.
If you worked in banking for like 2 minutes, you would know exactly what this is. It's called fractional reserve lending. Now, what it basically is like there used to be percentage caps on it. So he used to work for Bear Stearns. I don't know if a lot of people know that, but Jeffrey Epstein actually used to work for Bear Stearns in New York, which was one of the top lenders. You basically can give $1, or like he said an example there, and there used to be a cap on what you could actually give out to other people as lending, but the caps have been removed. So most places like the UK and US used to have caps of like 200%, 300%, 400%, whatever it is. But a lot of countries have actually removed the caps for fractional reserve lending, which is why a lot of these banks are so over leveraged. Like you said, it's
but he's talking like that's like insight.
Ignore
he's
this
trying to
interview.
act smart. He's trying to act smart, and he's not.
Did you see how this interview came about? So forget this. The most important point is, did you read? So in the CoffeeZilla video, did you read how this interview came about? And who?
No. Is this one with Steve Bannon? Is it Steve Bannon?
Yeah.
The biggest point here is, so all the Q community and the people, right? Everybody, like people who love Trump and all that kind of stuff, they love Bannon because he's an outsider. He's a truth teller. He is, he is against the system, this and that. Now, if you look at the emails between Bannon and Epstein, Bannon explicitly says in the email, we want to turn people's attention from you being accused of being a P word. So let's have an interview where you should talk about this, this, and this, and change the subject and change the narrative. So Bannon was the one who directed this interview.
Bannon knew about him as well.
No, Bannon was his advisor. He's the one who told them what to talk about in the interview. So the email explicitly, Bannon in the email says, in order to save your image, you need to divert public attention from these allegations and talk about this. So Bannon was his advisor.
Didn't know that. Okay,
so the whole thing about Bannon being the truth teller and he's against the system and he's that, it's all bullshit. Bannon.
I actually agree with you. I agree with you on this one. In 2008, Steve Bannon and Jeffrey Epstein shared an email that said Trump's new assistant, called Madeleine Westerhout at the time, she is known and referred to as knee pads. That's her name. That's her nickname in their circles. And then Jeffrey Epstein replied back to him saying God's work. So there's obviously a very, very familiar, like, private relationship between these two people, Steve Bannon and Epstein. Like, Eugene's right. Like, Steve Bannon was referred to as, like, one of the truth community and against all this stuff. But he was obviously sharing very, very private information between him and Epstein.
No, there's actually, if you watch CoffeeZilla, there are actually emails where Bannon tells Epstein what this interview will be about and how they're going to divert attention from the issues. And he actually was his advisor. It was Epstein and it was somebody else. No, sorry, it was Bannon and somebody else telling Epstein how to act after the allegations. So this whole thing about Bannon being the truth teller that the Q community was going with, it's all bullshit. It's the same guy who was trying to protect Epstein. So all this.
Did you watch that? Did you watch the full 2-hour interview?
No,
I watched
that guy is the
breakdown.
worst interviewer. Steve Bannon, he interrupted him every 3 seconds. He was like, listen, he was like, look, I'm not going to be involved in the interview, so I'm going to ask you the question, and then you need to, like, basically, if I ask you about what fractional reserve banking is, rather than you just answering, I need you to sort of like start the answer by saying what fractional reserve banking is so that we can click this up without me being involved in it. And he's like, oh, okay, fair enough. And then so he says, like, so talk to us about fractional reserve banking, for example. And he goes, oh, what fractional reserve banking is? And then 30 seconds later, Bannon interrupts him. And he interrupted him. Like, go and watch it on DJ, I think it's DJ Vlad, whatever the guy's name is. Go and watch that interview. Like, it's the most horrendous interview technique I've ever seen. The guy is absolutely shambles. I'm not a good interviewer, but like this guy, Steve Bannon, is like, supposed to be one of the smartest guys in the room, and but his style is just abhorrent to listen to. It's absolutely horrendous.
If you can see these people and their bad acting, like, it becomes really, really obvious. Like, after a while, after seeing this rhetoric go round and round, like, I get the same feeling when I listen to Alan Dershowitz, who was his lawyer. Like, when he goes on to Piers Morgan, like, I get the same feeling, just like, oh my God, like, we know you're lying. Like, but they're so versed in, the story, like, to some people it's plausible and palatable. But yeah, Steve Bannon, there seems to be a lot of compromised people in these circles that,
And
maybe.
And there was an email when they exchanged emails after this aired or after they filmed it, where Bannon is saying, "I rewatched it. These parts are good. These parts are not good. Let's go back and redo some things." So there is a back and forth between them about this. Basically, let's change the narrative. Which again, for Bannon and everything else, like that's crazy. That's why I'm saying like all the conspiracies, all this like this guy's the truth teller, this guy's not. We all should take everything that we see with a grain of salt, because nobody knows who these people truly are. We might think that they're telling the truth, but they could be behind this whole thing.
Yeah, I hear you, mate. I hear you. Should we have a little play with the Epstein file list? Should we have a look for it?
Yeah.
So I just put the word torture in, right? Just for example.
Jesus.
God, the first word you pick.
Come on, man.
Yeah, because I was playing around with it last night. Well, I was watching these Instagram clips because I haven't got enough space in my.
You need external hard drive. You need external hard drive to download them.
No. I mean, I haven't got enough space in the StreamYard link to upload any more videos. And the other videos that I've got in here, I don't want to delete them to make room because they're about some other stuff. But obviously, tonight's topic is mainly about Epstein, and so like the other ones are like about other things. But I don't want to just lose them and then come back to them later on. In fact, before we do that, I think I've got two more. I've got two more videos. Is John still here? John, are you still there, mate, or have you disappeared?
Gone to the gym.
I think I've gone to the gym. Okay, I'll remove him. He can come back in later.
Was there anything about Spurs transfer business in those emails? And or the lack of?
Just bigfatdisappointments.com. By the way, we're at 250 viewers, live views. 250, bro. Quarter of a cheese. Crack-a-lacking. Smash the like. Don't forget to subscribe. And don't forget to absolutely rub-a-dub-dub a little sub over to my man, Nikos, who's got his own channel going on. There is the link there, guys. Well, I mean, look up what are you on now? You must be on. You started off at 66, funnily enough. You're now at 85. Guys, we need 15 more subscribers. 15 more subscribers to get Nikos to 100 subscribers. Can we do that? Can 15 people that are currently watching that haven't already just click that link and then go and press the sub? It won't take you away from the stream. It'll just help Nikos out.
Can I just say thank you so much? I really appreciate the support. I know as a new channel, one of the hardest things is like putting those first videos out and getting the first few subscribers, you know, to get so much love so quickly, like nice comments and, you know, the regular people we chat to, like Sean as well. Thank you so much for the support. I put a couple of videos out just obviously this week. It's been like a conspiracy theorist dream having Epstein files released, you know, so I've kind of like jumped on the bandwagon a little bit to put a couple of videos out, but you know, I want to do a regular show about, you know, like scripted conspiracies, different types of things, not just about this particular subject right now, but I hope to grow it and sort of do really sort of good content. So any subscribes, any likes, you know, any comments, you know, it really does help, you know, get into the algorithm. These particular like subjects get shadow banned so quickly, it will be hard to naturally grow these channels. So I do appreciate
need 4 more. We need 4 more subs to get to 100. 4 more subs to get to 100. Get the Nikos man there. Get the man there. Come on, guys.
I'm going to do a video over the weekend as well. I'm going to try and upload something over the weekend. I want to look into, I've been looking into these files about the cryptocurrency stuff. I know we mentioned it briefly earlier on, but I've been looking like into the crypto stuff and how involved this guy was, and you know, some of the cryptocurrencies that I'm familiar with, and the conspiracy behind suppressing some of them and benefiting some of the other ones. So I'm kind of like constructing stuff, and I'm also constructing on the whiteboard like individual files on each of these people, like Elon, Bill Gates. So I'm going to try and bring like individual episodes for each of these people, bring up some content on the screen at the same time so you can see what we're seeing. But I'm just getting familiar with the user face, getting familiar with, you know, just uploading the content regularly. But any subscribes, any likes.
You're over 100 now, mate. You're up to 103 now, mate. Lovely jubbly. Well done, chat.
Thank you so much. I appreciate all of you. I appreciate all of you. I'll pay you back in dividends, I promise.
They got to the chat. And Adam scored draw lock. How can I forgot, mate? Are you not in the WhatsApp group, Adam? Are you not in the WhatsApp group? Did I not put you in the what? I thought I put you in the what. If I haven't put you in, mate, my bad, buddy. I was wondering what I should have had you on tonight, Adam. Listen, I'll sort that out, mate. Let me. I'll definitely get you in the WhatsApp group tonight. My bad, Adam. I should have had you in already. Don't know how I didn't. Thank you very much for your membership as well, as always. He also put in a super sticker as well. Adam, my bad, my man. My bad. You can. How much time have you guys got left?
Mate, as long as you want. I'm here all night. As long as you want.
You all right to keep going, Eugene?
I only have a sick kid, but forget him. He'll be fine. This is more important.
All right, let me. I'll put this in the chat. Let me see if I can get Adam's. Where's Adam? Where's Adam at? Let's get Adam on. Where's my man Adam?
In his haunted chapel. He's in his haunted chapel.
Yes, he is. There you go, Adam. If you want to jump on now, mate. My bad, buddy. I think I added you to the WhatsApp group. I was wondering where you were. There's the. I'll add you to the group, but there's the. It's in your Twitter thing now. If you want to jump on, Adam, and come and. I'll put you in the. I'll put you in the. It's on Twitter, mate. It's on Twitter. There you go. Let's have a look at this. Let's look at this video. Then let's see what this other videos we've got going on here. We've done this one.
They are
already
going to divide Oxford into 650.
It's a different video. How about this one?
A satanic power had taken over our whole country, which had been able to occupy key positions in our intellectual and spiritual life and in our political and economic life. From these key positions, they were able to control and monitor the whole nation. This power has at the same time...
Shit, I didn't. Did you see that? Did you see that video there? Like the Nickelodeon spludge looks just like. I didn't see that. That's interesting. Let's watch it one more time.
A satanic power had taken over our whole country, which had been able to occupy key positions in our intellectual and spiritual life and in our political and economic life. From these key positions, they were able to control and monitor the whole nation. This power has at the same time...
Maybe.
Little St. James. In the shape of Little St. James.
A little bit of a stretch, but possibly.
I like the connection. I like his imagination.
What's happening to you, Sean? What's happening to you?
I don't know. Listen, 5-siders in. See what we're doing. Big up to my Sorcerex, my panel. He says, my panel. Big up to you, my man. Is that you in the picture? Is that you with your magic cards? Is that what you are? You're a magician, are you, my man? Big up to you, buddy. Thank you very much for the super chiddly chit chat, my man. Thank you very much, mate. We appreciate you all. We appreciate all of you. Big up to you. Big up to Nikos for getting what you on now. You are on 104 subscribers, mate. There you go. You got baseline.
My YouTube analytics are going to blow up overnight.
Love it. Love to see it.
Thank you so much. Appreciate all of you.
Shall we get back? Shall we have a look at this? We were going to do this, weren't we? We're going to look at this now. Let's do some dive bombing. Let's have a look. Let's look at this one. Let's look at this one here.
Torture.
Do you want me to try to do her or just torture her on something? Do you want me to try to do it or just torture her on Friday? What the fuck is that?
Yeah, what the fuck?
This is too dark, man, even for me.
Why are they redacting these names? They shouldn't be. Like, if you're going to release these files, we need to.
It's not redacted. Look, they haven't done a great job, right? Because his name's there. Tancredi Marchiolo wrote to Jeffrey Epstein, do you want me to try to do her or just torture her? Do you want me to kill her or torture her? What the fuck is that? Let's have a look and see who Tancredi Marchiolo is, shall we? Let's have a look, see. Let's share this.
It's definitely not an Israeli name. I'll tell you that.
It sounds Turkish.
Tancredi Salvatore Marchiolo, partner at Bremner Capital.
Salvatore, it's Italian.
A hedge fund manager. Let's have a look who you are, Tancredi Marchiolo.
Services.
Let's have a look. Where are you? Oh, he's a London-based guy. The company's dissolved. Bremner Capital is dissolved. He resigned on the 1st of March 2016. Someone's in the chat. Someone's coming in. John's back. Hi, Johnny boy.
Some investigative reporting. I like it.
Yeah, well, I'm going to look, see. Who is this geezer? Tancredi Marchiolo, partner. Oh, is there a picture here? Bachelor's degree from UCL London. Marketing executive at EIM UK. He's a partner at... He was a partner at Bremner Capital.
We need to look into these.
He's having a horrible time. Let's have a look. Who's this guy?
Everything shit is in London.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
How the fuck is that same link? We're into football here suddenly. Chelsea are randomly mentioned in the Epstein files.
I never
as a
thought I'd
hedge
see
fund manager.
Abramovich and Epstein in the same article. What's that about?
Wow. Wow.
Wait, what?
What would you like? What would you like to? Oh, what's going on there? What the fuck? Why's that there? What would you like to do with me? To do with her, or just the shameful Epstein continued? Do you want me to try to do her, or just torture her?
Oh, it's Abramovich and Epstein. So I guess they were talking to Todd Bowley. All right.
She wrote me on BlackBerry Messenger that you are very nice and clever and sent a smiley face.
Who is this guy? He's not come across my radar at all, this guy.
Tancredi Marchiolo. Whoever you are, sir.
You're going on the whiteboard.
Careful, Sean. Don't uncover stuff that you don't want to uncover.
Well, listen. You know, I'm not suicidal. Oh,
Mr. Salvatore, you're innocent.
I just said it. Why did I say it? I didn't mean to say it.
Mate, this has been the most difficult stream.
You got through 2 hours without saying that shit.
This has been the most difficult stream in terms of like getting your words out, because everything you say, you have to like.
Anyway, so that guy, don't forget the name, Tancredi. Let's go back to
torture.
Let's go back. How do I get that? Oh, hang on a second. Was I not sharing the screen then at all the whole time?
No, I saw it.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
So let's have a look at something else. What's this one? This is the other one. Where are you? Are you okay? Okay. So this one, I actually did a bit of digging into this. Look, are you okay? I loved the T video, and if you grab this, right? If you grab this code here, is it on the screen?
No.
It's on the screen. Oh, sorry, my bad. Right. So look at this, right? So if you hit this one here, that's the thing. Where are you? Are you okay? I loved the T video, the Norture video. But if you actually grab that EFTA code, right, copy that, come over here, just hit that in. Something else popped up. Where was it before? Is it here? Anyway, no, where is it? Basically, I'll tell you what happened. So I did this research, and I let me see if I can find it. I'll do it. I'm going to show you properly. Is it here? That might be it. Grab this one, copy that, paste that. I can't remember the situation, but anyway, I grabbed a couple of those codes and I searched for something, and then what happened was it came up with a story that was in a different newspaper from a long time ago that said that the person that message was from was a Qatari prince, and that what they had done was there was a video that Epstein had received that was a Qatari prince had got his helper or handler or whatever to essentially like hit some victim, some person, some man with barbed wire and nails that were in wooden planks, and essentially and also using electrical nodes that were attached to his nether regions. And then the Qatari prince apparently got out and threw salt all over the guy in his wounds before running him over with in his SUV. So like you can actually use these codes if you do enough digging. You can actually find out what that's about, because I stumbled across it last night by accident. So there are ways you have to play around, search, click on those things, search certain things, and then things come up. But yeah, so. That person who said that, the person who sent that video, was apparently something to do with some Middle Eastern royal family.
Mate, that's insane. It's insane. Yeah. It's already big enough as it is with 3 million files. You know, every single one of them that's of interest. You know, it's good to know that you could look into them further. Yeah. We're going to need about 10 shows. We're going to need about 10 Epstein shows.
Play the jingle.
Can do it.
What jingle? What jingle? What have I done? Why are people saying Butler? What have you done? What have I done? What have I done?
Cancelled. Cancelled. The cancelled one.
What have I done? What have I done? Have I said something stupid?
That's
I don't know.
not
You
the
guys are all
first
saying
time.
FF. What have I done to them? I don't know what I've done. Leave me alone. I'm on 6 bottles of cider. Chill out, people. Chill out.
Maybe you said a word you shouldn't have said.
Oh, probably. Oh, that's right. I probably did, didn't I?
Yeah.
Do you want to see? Have you seen all the pizza stuff? It's ridiculous. There's 849 different emails that have pizza in it. Come on now.
That's insane. That's insane. That's absolutely insane.
Sean, click on the link that I just put in the private chat.
Okay.
Please.
They cloned it. Oh, wow. Is this on the screen? No. This is from someone to Mark Tramo. What's that? A medical person. You're great. Sorry for the typos. Jeffrey, thanks for taking the time to call me. I hope you don't think I was too presumptuous. I thought I should at least ask for your support before moving on buying that practice. Thanks for thinking of me in Cambridge. I'd be happy to fly out next time you get together with Martin and the gang. I'm most happy to hear you're back in high society brilliantly. I'm attaching my CV in the hope you might think I wouldn't be superfluous. Be a superfluous investment charity like those you referred to in our conversation. Also, the Institute for Music and Brain Science is a 4942J3 private operating foundation, not a 501c3 or a 4942J3 can fund their own research projects. We'd use some of the initial funds for a perception and ERP lab. So not all of the initial would go to salary. And as usual, I would have a small army of students staffing the Institute. A la the attached picture I sent you with a thank you note back in December. There's already a number from my class asking to do some projects with me. The salary would free me up to write some grants. E.g., my new pal at Universal Music has offered to send Britney Spears the neonatal ICU project I sent to send Britney Spears the neonatal ICU project I sent the Florida Science Foundation in 2009. There's a custody issue surrounding her kids since he is her publisher, but time has been prohibiting me from pursuing it. I'm looking forward to seeing you and having some fun here in 1 to 2 weeks. If you happen to be here on Wednesday, the 3rd, the 2nd,
I don't know.
What's that got to do with cloning? What's that got to do with cloning? John?
Don't know. Weird, isn't it? Weird. That's what I mean. How random this shit is.
It's a black cat moment.
I'm looking for some juice there. I was hoping.
It's absolutely random. That's what I mean. There's so much going out there. When people say to me all the Epstein files dump, it's like, yeah, how much of it is reality and how much is just absolute made up shit?
John, you sent did you not read it before you sent it over, John?
Yeah, that's to prove my point. A lot of the bullshit.
No, but what are these sources? There's some random X sources posting some random shit.
Can you play that next video? That is a good one, actually. The next one is a conversation between two famous people talking about.
That's hilarious.
Pizzas.
Which one? This one here, the project, the Jennifer Aniston one.
Yeah.
Oh.
Let's have a look at that one. Let's have a look at this one instead. That was so funny. I was reading through it again. Where's the juice? Where's the juice?
Yeah, where's Britney? Where's Britney's clone?
All right, so what we're doing here. This is
hold on.
Why did Jennifer Aniston get so uncomfortable when Adam Sandler was talking about having pizza with the Clooneys on their private island and all the variety of pizza being served? Is just pizza, Jen, right? I'm inviting you to a pizza, but
pizza was better than. He told a story about going and having pizza at the Clooneys in Lake Como.
Yeah, that's all an Aniston thing. She's like, George and I would love you to come over for pizza, but you
Oh my God!
Right.
What did you put in his after lunch
You have
coffee?
to dress,
Oh my
you can't
God.
show up.
I don't want to embarrass
Clooney
you.
would
How was the pizza? Was it good?
Oh,
Did he make it
Amal's
himself?
pizza was better than Clooney's. They both made. Everybody made a certain kind of pizza.
There's no pizza we didn't love.
So 5 different kinds, 5 different kinds, or 6 different kinds of pizza that night. Clooney's was excellent. Amal's was the winner.
I am inviting you all to a pizza party tonight at Jennifer Aniston's house. I'll see you there.
He told a story.
Wait, any pizza reference now? Ninja Turtles now are.
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
Wait, how many times are you in a social circle and you mention the word pizza and how fabulous a pizza party is? How many times in the social circles? I bet none of us ever have these kind of conversations. Why are these like high-profile celebrities doing it on TV other than mocking us?
Yeah, exactly. Do you know any rich people that are multi-millionaires who are actually that interested in pizza?
Especially people that are skinny as fuck, right? Like none of them eat pizza. Let's be honest, right? Like they're all skinny as fuck. None of them, if they had one slice of pizza, they'd put on like half a stone because
you'd see inside them this fucking triangle shape.
You'd see the triangle inside them, wouldn't you?
Come on, boys. Let's not get silly now.
There's definitely a weird amount of either the elites are like just really into carbohydrates, which I just don't buy because they all
they're all fucking Italians either,
they're all rich. They're all rich. They can have whatever they like, and they've all got this obsession with pizza. All of them.
Adam Sandler?
They've all got the same obsession.
Yeah,
eats pizza. Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler is also Jewish, mate. So you know,
hey, he thought it, but he didn't say it. But now, exactly. See, that's.
I didn't say it. I didn't say anything. I could have said something, but I didn't.
But
so
it's
you're
funny.
bad influence. You're
no, listen, I'm not getting involved in that stuff. Listen, I'm worried because I already mentioned the Qatari guy, and my dad said to me on the phone the other day, bro, there was a geezer in England who was a YouTuber, and he happened to go after the Saudi government a few times on his relatively small channel. Obviously not 1,000 subs, maybe like 100,000, whatever. And he got kidnapped, taken down a dark alleyway, and beaten the shit out of by some Saudi henchmen, and told if you mention us again, you'll die or whatever. So I'm already panicking. I'm panicking, but I'm on my 6th bottle of cider. So, you know, I'll panic more in the morning. I'm going to, like, right now, I don't care. Tomorrow, I'm going to go, oh, God, delete the fucking stream, Sean. Delete the stream.
Personal protection dog.
Yeah, this brings us back to that YouTuber we were talking about a little bit earlier on. Yeah, there's a guy called Nick Griffiths or something like this. He's millions and millions and millions of views on YouTube, and he actually made a YouTube video last week of him going to Epstein Island on a jet ski from St. Thomas, I think. He basically hired a jet ski with a few of his mates, went over to the island, literally put one foot on the island, and for the next 5 days since that video has been put on the internet and seen by millions of people, he's had big black SUVs parked outside of his house, and he's uploading every single day because he fears for his life now. And all he done was go to the island. It's actually the island's actually owned now by somebody else. It was bought by another investor. Sure, got some weird links to the island.
Yeah. I've actually got a video here. I'm trying to upload it now. This is one I found earlier. I think this might be the one you're talking about. I don't know. Let me just wait until it's uploaded, and then we'll play it. But who the fuck's going to buy the Epstein Island, by the way? Yeah, watch this.
Epstein's house right there? Oh, wait. We're in fucking Epstein's backyard.
Are those little kid chairs? Like, what the fuck are
Hell no. We gotta go. God damn it, man. Oh, they're here. Oh, fuck. No.
This is fake as fuck.
Yeah, that wasn't the one I was talking about. I'll find the name of the actual island itself was sold in May 2023 to a billionaire investor called Stefan Dokov. He's actually a founder of Stephen, Stephen, and Dekoff, Deckoff. He's a founder of private equity firm Black Diamond Capital Management. He's the guy that bought the island.
The managing principal of Black Diamond Capital, a privately held alternative asset management firm.
Got to look into this guy as well. He needs to go on the whiteboard too. Go on, Stephen. On you go. If you're the guy sitting in the SUVs, I'll be looking outside for you.
Hang on a second. What's this? Let's look at this. This is from yesterday. Still no resort plans for Epstein Islands purchased by Dekov. When billionaire Stephen Dekov purchased Jeffrey Epstein's private islands, he announced plans to build a luxury resort that was anticipated to open in 2025. The resort has not materialized, and the only construction permit that Dekov has requested is for an 8,800 square foot warehouse, a warehouse on Little St. James Island, according to Virgin Islands government public records. That's the end of the story.
A warehouse? That's a strange idea.
Strange requirement. It's already got. I think there's already 11 building structures on the island.
Where's the bit with the temple thing that matches the girl who was on TV all the time?
I think it's in the southwest corner, but the gold bit's been blown off by one of the recent hurricanes. So I think it's in the southwest corner. It's the highest point of the island.
How much do you reckon they paid for the island?
22.3 million, I think it said.
Is that all?
Yeah, Webster only bought it for 6 million.
All right, we're changing. We are changing the path of the super chats, guys. Okay, we are not going to go to Antarctica anymore. We are going to buy an island in the Virgin Islands. Okay, that's what we're going to do. So
we're all going to live there.
Yeah, we're going to go and build one of our own little place. It's a nice little island, though, isn't it? It's a nice little place.
Obviously, Epstein owned the island as well. That's known as Little St. James, but he actually owned the bigger island, which is north of that as well, called Greater St. James. So I don't know what the situation with that is. Who owns that now? Who took control and bought that? How much that's worth? Is it on the market? Is it available? But it
looks fucking windy there, though. Every time I see a picture of it, these palm trees are like really blowing a gust. You know?
It's in the Caribbean. It's in the Caribbean. It's better than England and Spain at the minute.
Yeah, you'll put up with it.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a cold, horrible, bloody whatever wind we get here off the North Sea, is it? It'd be quite nice.
What they need to start doing. I definitely want to buy some land. Decided we walked onto this conversation on the last show, didn't we? You know, Eugene was trying to convince me to buy land in
Oregon.
Yeah.
The thing about this subject as well is this is the tip of the iceberg, because there's other islands. There's so many other islands in this area. You know, the next one along is owned by Richard Branson.
Oh, Branson. We got to put Branson on the fucking list. That guy, you know, that guy is a dirty little, allegedly dirty git. You know,
the guy before Epstein was quite famous in these circles as well. With lots of other
you see how Eugene's eyes lit up then? Because Branson's not Jewish, so.
Yeah. Well, actually, I'll help Eugene out.
Yeah, let's go after him. Let's go after that dirty Londoner.
I'll help Eugene out here. There's actually a guy called Peter Nygaard. He was actually a fashion mogul, and he allegedly has been doing the same stuff for decades and decades and decades with the exact same model as what Epstein's been doing at. So Peter Nygaard is on the list as well. He's an 85-year-old Canadian billionaire.
Yeah, no, but Nygaard owned Victoria's Secret, didn't he?
Wexner did.
Oh,
is Prince Andrew Jewish?
Nygaard's a dirty one as well. But Nygaard's 100% a vampire. He did a video in front of, like, an interview in front of like 4 black women who were like really attractive black models, but like not kids, but like, you know, in their 20s or 30s. And you could see how entirely uncomfortable they felt. He said he was talking about stem cells. He's basically like, oh yeah, all like, you know, your period blood is super valuable. You should like harness. You shouldn't just let that go down the toilet. You should capture that because it's rich in stem cells. It's rich in unbelievable proteins and nutrients, and certainly your placenta after women's birth. And all these black women are sitting there going like,
I remember that. That was creepy, wasn't it?
You remember seeing that? Let me see if I can find it.
Ghislaine did that with men. But Ghislaine did that with Nordic men. She only had bodyguards and like from Sweden, like big blonde dudes, and she gathered their hair. So theory is they did some. human engineering or whatever.
Yeah.
The thing is about Peter Nygaard, he actually got one of the nice islands. Like he's got an island in the Bahamas. It's just off in the south, and it's called Nygaard Cay. So whilst there was like good land available, like this guy's been doing it in a probably bigger way, in a more developed structure than what Epstein's been doing it at, in these little shitty islands off of St. Thomas, you know. So even though this is high profile now, the Epstein stuff, like I would look forward to seeing what happens when people start investigating Peter Nygaard and his operation out of the Bahamas, which is in the Caribbean also. So yeah, Branson, Nygaard, I'm sure there's loads more.
Prince Andrew isn't Jewish, right, Sean?
No, you're right.
Good.
Prince Andrew's what? Sorry,
he's not Jewish. That's two.
Yeah, no, I'm not attaching this to Judaism or to Israelis. I think this is a billionaire thing.
This is a big billionaire boy club thing. This is
I never know with you.
As Sean mentioned there, he's talking about Qataris, British, Canadians, Americans, Jewish. It's all of them, mate. It's this is why you can't be so sensitive about these subjects, because you can't talk about one without the other, and sometimes it leads you from one to the other. So you just got to just look for truth.
Oh,
come on.
Joe Lewis, yeah, he's got an island out there.
No, wait.
Yeah, he's on the list.
Still with your chairman in? Is it in there, Sean? Is it?
No, not my chairman. Daniel Levy won't be on there. Surely not.
What was Joe Lewis in court for last year?
Hang about.
The money.
Do you know of Joe Lewis? This is from Jeffrey Epstein to Peter Mandelson.
Oh.
Do you know of Joe Lewis? Spends most of his time in Abu Dhabi. What's his reputation like? Is it on the screen? Can you see it?
I'm sure there's more than one.
Depends who you ask. If you ask Stel, complete fucking arsehole. Yeah. If you ask Sean, he's not too bad.
Hey, I'm sure there's more than one.
My owner.
Easy.
Lou a manifesto about him.
Hey, wait, there's more. Look, I'm with Joe Lewis.
It's a common name. I'm sure there's more than one, Sean. Careful.
No, there's not. Nah, not like this. I don't think so. I honestly, I don't want to be that guy, but yeah, I think he's one of them.
It's a common name, no? Joe Lewis. It's kind of like
it's the ex-heavyweight boxing champion, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like Bill Smith. I'm sure there are a couple of them.
No, I hear you, mate. I hear you. But that's
not
billionaires. That's not fun, is it? That's not fun.
There are 1,300 billionaires in the world. So
yeah, but Joe Lewis owns an island not far from Epstein's.
Exactly.
For the record.
Spent a day with Joe Lewis in Bariloche, Argentina, which is Patagonia, which is where I don't know what to make of him, says Jess Staley.
Don't blame him.
He doesn't spend money on transfers. Is that the next paragraph?
Yeah. Don't trust him in a January transfer window.
Exactly.
Yeah. Don't trust him from the months of May until September, and then December 31st till about start of Feb.
Yeah. Well, if you're going to connect dots, remember we had one of those.
3 months.
Yeah.
Do you remember a little while ago we had one of the viewers on, Sean, that was talking about the Tavistock group. I can't remember what his name is now off the top of my head, but a real nice guy that come on from America, and he was talking about the connections between Joe Lewis, Enoch, Tavistock group. Like all the dots are all there just to be putting the lines together. What was his name?
Daniel Levy does come up in this thing.
Daniel Levy comes up.
No, but it's not the same Daniel Levy. It's not. It's as Daniel Levy of the European Council on Foreign Relations says the most striking thing. Same guy, yeah, same geezer.
Yeah, that's what he does.
My chairman.
That was his side job. That was his side job.
Daniel Levy, a former Israeli peace negotiator.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Common name.
His negotiation skills were notorious, so it wouldn't shock me.
True.
Yeah. When true. He could piss off any chairman of any football club.
Yeah.
It's that Joe Lewis who just received a pardon from Trump. Yeah, 100%, David. 100%. They're all in on it.
Right, gents, I'm going. Are you staying on?
Stay for a bit, mate. You go to the gym. If we're still here, I don't know if we'll still be here, but if we are still here, go do your fucking. What is it you do down there? Go on.
Bicep curls.
What do I do?
Yeah,
I'm
you're a
just gonna watch
cyclist.
you
You're gonna
guys.
get on the running machine, or
I'm just going to sit there and watch you guys.
Mate, this is a
dial in
very
from the gym. Dial
John.
in
This
from
is
the gym.
John. This is a very, very predatorial sort of hour to be going to the gym. Just sort of throwing it out there. You
Very
know?
convenient.
Very
Search for
convenient.
John.
Late at night,
John.
scoping for
Search for
girls.
John.
You know, we
There
understand.
doesn't be anyone in there.
He's putting his jacket up. His hood's gonna go up in a minute. Glasses on.
Predatorial. The girls in there are stronger than me. You want to see the weights they shift.
I mean, John does look like Daniel Levy a little bit.
It's me
Thanks for
who
coming
should
on,
do
John.
it.
I appreciate you, mate. Love you, Teflon.
Always a pleasure, John.
Cheers, guys.
See you soon.
See you, mate.
Thanks,
You got
everyone.
long fingers, bro. You got
Hey,
long fingers.
I know.
Lizard fingers. Lizard.
Yeah.
Lizard fingers. He's part of it. He's
Yeah.
part of it, Nikos.
I
It's
think
not
that-
just Eugene as part of the enemy. John, Teflon John is part of it too.
I
What
think
we
I might
doing
have
here?
sticks on one hand.
Hey.
If there's any reports in the morning of anyone going missing on Turkey Cock Lane tonight, we know where we start looking.
It'll be me, probably.
Yeah, in that jacket, I think.
Yeah.
Man.
Great to
Doggy.
see you, John. Cheers, mate.
Nice to see you, John.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you,
Thanks
mate.
everyone in the chat. Record attendance tonight. So that's
Yeah,
pretty good.
259, I think, was the high. We're at 253. Is there any chance we could get to share with your friends, people? If you're in WhatsApp groups, let everyone know.
I don't want to be
Ken said
seen
259. That's
with you
that's-
donuts.
Don't seem desperate. Don't seem desperate.
And get yourself over to Nikos's channel as well. Team
Oh, I
Floyd.
appreciate it. I've got 100 subscribers. Would you believe there's 100 people in the world that want to listen to me chat about conspiracies?
That is good.
I couldn't have buy one of you about 10 years ago, and I've got 100 of you that want to listen. So I look forward to putting loads of content out and no
The
holds
biggest
barred.
conspiracy is that last week Nikos was saying to me that he fancied buying Sava's channel to turn it into a conspiracy.
Hey,
No?
I can't.
Not-
I was
not
about to
like
say
that?
it. I didn't want to say it. Imagine they're tuning in for transfers, and it's like flat Earth talk, and they're like, "What the fuck is this?" That would be amazing. I want to be there for
so
that.
good.
I wanted to hit a target market like bang, bang, bang. And I'd be like, what the hell is this? You know, but again, the challenge with YouTube, as I said, a lot of people who don't have channels or whatever wouldn't know, but the hardest thing is getting to that point of growth, you know, where you can monetize it quickly, get ad revenues. That's why people create content, you know, to make a little business out of it, but share their information. A channel that's becoming, you know, free, you know, that's got that already is valuable to some people. It was just an idea that I had because I heard him say it, and I thought, well, I could do something with that, you know, like I know a lot
Mate,
of like-minded people.
the money that he wants for that channel is conspiratorial, isn't it?
I actually heard him mention as well on one of his shows. I don't really watch too much of the Spurs stuff at the minute, but I did hear him mention that he's probably either going to give it up on the 31st of March or at the end of the season. So, you know, I'm not sure if he wants to actually give it up, and I don't want to blame him either because he's
No, I
created
spoke
a
to him
gym,
today.
you know?
There's a lot of people that want it off him, and a lot of
Yeah.
people that are willing to pay a lot of money.
Really?
Madness.
Good luck to him, and good luck to anyone that takes it off of him. It was just an idea. Like I said, on the dark web, you can go and buy a channel with 1 million views for a couple of grand, you know. But I want to do it a bit more organically. I want to try and sort of get.
We'll get
people
you there,
that-
mate. We'll get you there. We'll get you there through this channel.
Take it over and get Ricky Sachs on and don't tell him what it's going to be about. And he can talk about reptilians and stuff. And he'll go, oh, what's going on? What's going on? We're talking about reptilians.
Hi guys, man, Ricky Sachs here. Love to see you. Love to see you. Love to see you.
Reptilians, if he's lucky, it's going to be reptilians.
Get Paul Merson on and he'll think it's going to be about a transfer window.
No, get the other geezer on. What was his name? The Matt Letitia. He's a conspiratorial now, isn't he? He's
Mate,
gonna-
we're
gonna-
friends. I'm friends with Matt Letizia. I'm friends with him actually. Yeah.
You're
Yeah,
friends with
get
Matt
him on.
Letitia. Get him
I
on
say-
the
I say
fucking
friends.
channel. What are we doing here?
No,
What are we
save him
doing
for his own one. Save him for
Yeah.
yours.
Yeah, I was a big supporter of what he was doing at after the COVID stuff. I was one of his early people that sort of shared all his content and stuff. We become friends, talked a little bit. He sent me out some CBD stuff and he invited me onto one of his golf course things down in south of Spain and stuff. But you know, I wouldn't say we're like buddies, like drinking buddies on a Friday night, but definitely somebody that I could connect with at some point in the future and talk about maybe potentially some sort of type of like conspiracy related information, because I really admire people like that, to be honest, because they're quite hard to come by.
Telephone number.
No, I don't know.
Did
Well,
you
actually, I do,
mention-
I do, yeah. I do.
Nikos, I think your first guest on the show should be Sean's shadow because it's not been around for a while and I think it's going to come up to yours.
I burnt some sage, and I did sacrifice a chicken to Molech in the garden, you know, like Hillary Clinton did, because you got to satisfy these people somehow, you know. Whatever you're doing to me, you know, Oh, I forgot to. Listen, John, stay there for 1 second. I went on to.
Now what's he going to do?
I'm still here.
We're going to see the shadow sit down.
Yeah.
I completely forgot.
Would be a better show, maybe.
Ooh, shots fired. Shots fired.
Don't tell me. Don't tell him.
I won't. He'll watch it back and see it.
Yeah.
The show tonight, it was supposed to have a special guest.
Jesus Christ. It's aliens. It's always been aliens. We knew it.
That's the real Sean. He's taken the mask off.
Yeah, shapeshifting.
Exactly.
That's what
The
Sean
shadow
really
has
looks like.
appeared.
Yeah.
No.
That's
I
what
will though. I do look forward to the day where I can do a live show and have sort of these types of conversations. But out of respect, like Sean would be the first invite. Out of the the platform he's given me to talk to people and.
Fuck off! I'm not watching it then. If you're bringing him on.
Well, if that's what it is, that's what it is. But out of respect and loyalty, and just as I said, I appreciate the opportunity to be able to talk to people the way he's given us over the last couple of years. Like the first invite will definitely be for Sean. But we can all do it together. More the merrier. But that's just
look a bit like Admiral Akbar there, Sean, from Return of the Jedi. Can you say
it's scary, mate? It's scary. I think he's looking at me right in the eyes. Stop it.
It's the same bloody colour, isn't it? It's the skin.
I mean, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? That's the question.
Can you say it's a trap?
Can I drink cider through the mask? That's the question. Can I show a little glass, a little?
Can you need to do a whole show like that? Do a whole show like that.
It's pretty gets hot.
Yeah, it works. It works, people. Can you still hear me though?
Yeah. It's a bit muffled.
All right then. John, go to the gym and then come back and join us in a minute.
In a minute? Bloody hell! What do you think this is? SAS?
Dude,
you not heard of 5-minute abs? 5-minute abs.
Yeah, 5-minute flabs.
Wait, what movie is that from? It's
there's something about Mary.
Something about Mary. He picked up the hitchhiker.
Yeah,
classic.
But have you heard of 4-minute abs?
Well, that's stupid. There's no one doing abs in 4 minutes.
Right, guys, I'm off. Smell you later.
See you, mate.
See you later, John. That's everybody.
Yeah, mate.
Dude.
5-minute abs.
All right, should we do another video?
Yes.
But I haven't got any more Epstein videos, so we have to go to something else now. Is that okay?
Thank God.
That sounds all right for me.
All right, let's move on. Let's move on. It's probably still going to be about, something weird anyway. All right, let's go to this one.
Didn't cross your desk, you say, but the CPS's failure to prosecute Jimmy Savile. Do you accept responsibility for that as the guy in charge? The first I knew about this was after he died. Really? I asked for a review into whether his case had ever come onto the desk of any of my prosecutors anywhere in the country as investigation into Jimmy Savile. But I thought at that time that there simply wasn't the evidence. The testimony simply wasn't compelling. Also, Savile did have a great standing with people, and so the threshold for any action taken was always going to be higher, and some of the claims felt slightly frivolous.
How is the threshold? First of all, he lied when he was older about what he didn't know when he was younger. Second of all, let's just take him on the word of the first thing he said when he was younger. The threshold for action has to be higher because of his standing.
Right, that guy's a wrong. That guy's an absolute wrong. Wasn't he when the Savile files all come out? Wasn't he the president of the Crown Prosecution Service? Wasn't he one of the top people at the CPS? So that he was actually one of the people that could sign off or not sign off particular cases on Keir Starmer.
Yeah, no, the whole thing, he literally said, the threshold for me to prosecute Savile.
Rubo, was that you?
That mask, I can't take you seriously. That mask with the cap on, mate. Honestly, mate, you need to do a short tomorrow or something with these bits on it. Let's make some good content. Jesus. But yeah, mate, Keir Starmer's, mate, absolute wrong. And if you can't see that he's compromised, mate, you're blind. He's absolutely compromised, 100%. And as soon as people realise he's compromised, they'll change him for somebody else that's compromised. Tony Blair will come back or something like that.
But him saying that the threshold is higher because of his standing in society. What does that tell you? That means if you get caught with certain things, if you get done for certain things, because you're just a nobody, you have the full gamut of the law thrown at you. But if you're someone of high standing, no, the rules are different. He's literally admitting to a two-tier justice, and he's proud of it.
Yeah, that's not.
He's the biggest "see you next Tuesday" I've ever. I hate him, and I cannot wait for him to have to fall on his sword this week. He's done skis over the Mandelson thing. Have you seen the Mandelson thing, by the way?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, again, the fact that Mandelson's in these files, mate, and the fact that there's pictures of him in the files, and selling. Like, there's actually, I think the most damning email that I've come across in the file so far that maybe you've seen as well, or maybe not, is he's actually selling secrets about the European Union, deals that have been arranged, and he's giving it to this guy.
He should stand trial for treason.
It's treason because it puts national security at risk. If you're giving that information to somebody that's an alleged CIA or Mossad agent, you're giving this information ahead of time for people to be able to trade on it. If nothing else, the most innocent path of it is trading on it. But what if that information is used in a more dangerous way? Like, it's absolutely scandalous that this guy is not already in prison. Like, it's absolutely.
He has to stand trial for treason.
Absolutely.
Starmer has to go down. Starmer has to fall on his sword, 100%.
Yep.
But that ginger donut who didn't pay her taxes, what's her name? Raymond. What the fuck's that woman's name? The ex vice prime minister, deputy prime minister. What the fuck's her name? Someone in the chat, let me know her name. First of all, the fucking chancellor has to step down as well, because she lied on her manifesto about the need to raise taxes. We're not going to raise taxes. Then they raised taxes. Okay, but you lied. But yeah, but we have to. We have to. So the manifesto doesn't really count if new information comes available. Yeah, but the Office of Budget Responsibility said that you didn't need to raise taxes. So you lied about that to justify the lie on your manifesto. So you have set a horrendous precedent where any future governing party can say whatever the fuck that they want and then create other lies to justify why their manifesto breach was bullshit. She has to go, but that's just like yesterday's news is tomorrow's chip paper. So that's just we've moved on from her. So she's still there. And then Angela Rayner, thank you, Danny. Angela Rayner, she fucking didn't pay her taxes for her property taxes. She stood down. She got like a 50 grand compensation package, like a resignation thing, whereas she should have been fired. She still hasn't paid her taxes, and now she's going to come back and become the prime minister when Starmer eventually falls on his sword. I mean, what are we fucking doing here? What are we doing here? It's outrageous.
It's so corrupt to the point where it's like, I actually generally think Tony Blair will become a prime minister again in the UK. Whether that be the next election or the one after, he's so controlled.
Literally looks like he has run out of adrenochrome. He looks like a combination between Mr. Burns and the devil. He is such an evil man. And his son got all the contracts for the digital ID, the social media thing.
He's so involved with it still, but he's out of the picture. But I'm at that point where I generally believe like they don't care anymore, and they're running out of puppets to put in there that people buy into. Like
I think after this, mate. I think after this Epstein files, I don't think the public are going to let this go. I don't think they're going to move on. I think the only way that the powers that be can move the conversation forward is something else to take over, and that requires like a major terrorist attack or some sort of false flag, some sort of COVID, some sort of whatever that's going to like move the story forward. I don't think that people are going to let this go until there are a raft of. I think the American public primarily are not going to let it go until the DOJ release the other 3 million files.
3.4 million still be released, and on top of that, the 3 million they have released, people are going to want to know more information about the ones that are redacted. Like I want to know. Who
was it that wrote the email saying thanks for the talk? Well, I know because I saw it. I know who it's from. I like you can figure it out. I figured it out myself last night. It was something to do with a Qatari Emirati or whatever, right? So that whole torch video was about that. But there's a whole bunch of other ones out there. You can figure it out if you play around with enough of the codes and stick it into search engines and shit. You can get there. But there's so much more to it, and I think that, like, yes, of course, you don't release, like, you know, child videos. You don't release that stuff, but I think that there has to be some independent people somewhere that get to see it so that they can verify that all of the rest of the information didn't involve Trump, didn't involve, you know, people that are alive. Because right now, all it looks like is the people that are happy to have their name thrown under the bus are people that are already dead.
Yeah, I think the only thing that saves them now is, like, obviously we're all familiar, if you're from these circles, like Project Bluebeam. This is the only thing I can think of right now that if it was to come to pass right now, all this kind of gets swept under the rug. Like, I can't think of anything else right now that would be a justifiable reason why people would automatically push this to one side. So we're either going to see
what percentage, boys, of the America of like the normal mum and dads, or I'd imagine it's more probably women that are more interested in this stuff than, like, I think men have got, like, no, not trying to be sexist here or whatever, but I think that men have got, like, bills to pay and work to do, you know. But I feel like just like with the whole QAnon thing, it was mainly middle-aged women that were caught up in that stuff. And by the way, I'm sure a lot of that was bullshit, but I'm sure a lot of it actually was built on some levels of truth. But, like, what percentage of, like, normally you probably say 5% of the population, 1 to 5% are probably, like, interested in this sort of shit. I'd say it's probably stretched to now, like, the Epstein story is probably more interesting to say 20% of people, not to the point where we're going into a justice, like, you know, whatever else. But I don't know, like, you know, my mum, who comes around my house all the time, she's like, she's not into it like I'm into it, but she's aware of it but she's aware of the shallow stuff. She's aware of Prince Andrew. She's aware a bit about Mandelson. She's not aware about Bill Gates. She's not aware about the Pizzagate thing. That stuff's not been put on TV yet, you know?
They're only aware of it when it hits the front page of the news. But the fact you're seeing the Mandelson stuff on the news, Prince Andrew's on the front page of the newspapers this week as well, you know, with obviously his, you know, inclusion in these files and stuff, you know, like people like our parents, mine are very similar, mate. You know, they don't believe any of these stories. You know, they believe what they're told on the news and they live and die by it their whole life, you know. But we're living in a new generation. But yeah, they're going to need some huge false flag here to deflect this away.
I think the attention spans of people is very short. Like with COVID, it ended during the George Floyd stuff here. The whole thing shifted. Then there was the Ukraine war. Everybody forgot about the Floyd stuff. Then the Middle East, everybody forgot about the Ukraine war. Nobody even talks about it. So I think people forget about after like 2-3 weeks when something new comes up.
That's an interesting.
Gonna die out.
That's an interesting thing to bring up there actually as well. Like in the Ukraine wars come up in the Epstein file as well. Have you seen those emails? Have you seen the Ukraine war mentioned in 2013, 2014 by the Rothschild family and Epstein?
No.
There's an email between Ariana de Rothschild talking about the opportunities that are going to come up in Ukraine. This is years and years. In the Epstein files, there's correspondence between the Rothschild family and Jeffrey Epstein. There's a lot of them, you know, not to mention the fact that he's actually a consultant for them. But he actually self-confessed in the emails that he's a representative of the Rothschilds. But the one in particular I was talking about was he actually corresponded about the opportunities that were about to come to pass in the Ukraine. And this was in 2013 or 2014. So long before this Ukraine war started, they were already talking about the opportunities that were going to come to pass there. Now, I know they've been at war for many, many years and stuff like that.
But they've been talking about it since, I mean, yeah, listen, Ukraine's been, mate, all of these things they probably started talking about Greenland or the Arctic Circle in like 1960 or something. You know, these things, these are not like quick fixes. They talk about the opportunity in certain areas decades before they find the kind of momentum in the narrative around geopolitics to actually move it in that direction. So I'm sure they did talk about it because Ukraine's got the #1 amount of natural resources on the planet, hasn't it, per square kilometer or something. So
yeah, that's
how many people right now are talking about the Trump assassination attempt? Like nobody at all, and that's a huge story. So this one is bigger, but I guarantee in a month it's just going to go away quietly.
Maybe. Here's one thing we've covered before. Actually, we keep asking, like, how did Epstein become so rich? How is he so powerful? How is he so connected? Who did he work for? I think we talked about this on the last show. Did you see the file with him having a consultancy contract for $25 million with the Rothschilds?
What was that? Sorry, mate. Sorry, I'm writing a text. Sorry, what was that?
We talked about it before, I think, on the last show, but we speculated who he worked for, how he become so wealthy and connected, why was he so protected, all this kind of stuff. Did you see in the Epstein files, there was a contract in October 2015 between Southern Trust Company, Inc., which was Epstein's company called STC, and the Rothschild family. It was Mariana de Rothschild that was corresponding with him on behalf of Edmund de Rothschild Holdings, also Rothschild Group, for $25 million.
Yeah, well, he said in one of the emails that he's literally a representative of the Rothschild.
With Peter Thiel, with Peter Thiel, the technocrat, one of the big tech guys, he actually said, I am a representative of the, as you probably know, quote, as you probably know, I'm a representative of the Rothschilds. So we're starting to put the pieces together, like how did this guy evade all these problems? How did he get these business and all these powerful people come to him? It kind of points back to his connections with one of these rich, powerful society families, you know?
Yeah.
But that was really, there's a lot of information between him in particular and Ariana de Rothschild.
Yeah, he's definitely listen, like I say, I think that geezer was into, I know the whole bank account, the bail thing was just like the PDF files, not like the literal PDF files were, when they get scanned, they don't always pick up the correct lettering. So the whole Baal thing was like it should have said bank, whatever. So I get that. But that guy 100% worships does those things. Did you see the accusations in some of the they're like accusations from women, like victims or whatever, that came forward and testified like about Trump and stuff, and so like all of those things are just suddenly like dismissed as being just hearsay. But again, goes back to like what Keir Starmer said, like the threshold for truth has to be larger because these people are high profile people. Fuck off, by the way. Obviously no proof, no evidence, no proof, fine, but there's loads of shit in those files about Donald Trump doing horrible things.
He's mentioned
the guy that was the head of the lifestyles of the rich and famous. They said that some girl said that we saw him strangle a girl to death in front of us, strangle a young girl. Like literally just went and just choked someone out. Why would you say that? Like what? Like it's so random a person to pick, like that guy's name from the lifestyle to do that. You look at him and you kind of go, yeah, kind of allegedly could probably consider you could be possible of doing that,
Yeah. One of the things that stuck out, I mean, obviously Trump's mentioned one of the most times in the files. Of all the files that have been released so far, only Bill Gates has been mentioned more times than Donald Trump. Donald Trump's been mentioned like 5,361 times in the emails. But a couple of the ones that stuck out for me, I guess you guys have probably seen, but he used to hold auctions for minors under the banner of calendar girls. And allegedly in these emails, Donald Trump used to evaluate the minors by their pelvises and then auction them off to rich and powerful people. Elon Musk is alleged to be an attendee of all of these parties. Both of his sons, Donald Jr. and Eric, I think it is, Ivanka, they've all been alleged to be part of this. And these are all prior to him becoming president. Why is his name in there so much? It does leave a lot of questions.
These things are fucking horrendous. Additional potential victim for case New York is reporting that she being human trafficking. It started when she was 5 years old, when she was taken from an apartment she was living in and cut in the throat. At 7 years old, she was moved to Fresno and was taken again when she was 12 or 13 years old. During that time, reported she was a virgin. When she was taken, she was brought to Paris to do it in the most romantic place in the world and was raped by 3 men. The men were part of an organization that would take naked pictures of young girls and used photo where she flew to Ireland for politicians and notable men. They would have sex with the young woman when she was taken from Ireland and brought to Jeffrey Epstein's island when she was 13 years old. Someone reported that she was there when Prince Edward was there. Prince Edward was there. And when Tony Hawk got married on the island. Said the only way to get off the island was to take naked photos or pose. That is why there are so many photos laying around the house. Someone said in one of the group photos that she is the girl in the white tank top, white purse, and is holding a water bottle, that she has photos that she can prove that she was on the island and will provide them if necessary, and that she has reported to multiple FBI officers before they could get that they would get her information and kick her out. She's currently in Germany and seeking asylum.
Insane.
Mental. Like, I tend to believe this sort of thing. I know, like, it's not evidence; it's just hearsay. But like, it's so random. Like, I've got photos that can prove I was there. Okay, then like, where's the investigation into Tony Hawk? Where's the investigation into whoever else is in that list there? Prince Edward. He's supposed to be the quiet guy of the family.
Yeah.
You know, Prince Edward, Prince Philip, Prince Andrew. Prince Edward's supposed to be the guy who just gets on with his job and doesn't. He stays away from the public limelight. Why would, like, it's such a random thing for Prince Edward? I don't reckon most people would even know who Prince Edward is if they saw him in a lineup.
No. He's been so out of the public eye his whole life.
It's madness. And there's loads of these.
Mate, there's so much. There should be investigations all over the place. The FBI should be hiring people right now to cover some of this stuff. But the Tony Hawk stuff, like you covered there, like you said a minute ago, is like he was a famous skateboarder. He had big contracts with, TV companies, MTV, computer game companies, sports brands. He was a big high profile celebrity going back to this time 10, 15, 20 years ago. If you was Tony Hawk back then with all that money, why would you get married on this island? Like, you could get married anywhere in the world. Like, you come from California, there's so many places you can get married. Why would you get married on this island?
Mate, some of this stuff is fucking weird, man. They're talking about like people being offed and then the people on the island eating the excrement that's come from the intestines of the children that were.
Is this the official email leak, or not leak, but release?
Yeah.
Is this from...
No, this is an email that's saying it's like it's an interview of a purported victim. So that it's not saying that this actually happened. It's saying that this victim claimed it happened.
No, but it came from the official file.
Yeah. This is justice.gov.
This is an FBI investigation that happened afterwards. They took lots of witness and victim testimonies, and they included them all in the files.
Like, if this was a movie, I'd be like, no, this movie's too crazy. Like, I don't believe it. You know what I mean? If this wasn't a movie, I'm like, yeah, that's bullshit.
Reported being having a horrendous time by his great uncle. This is a boy. That's been by his great uncle since the age of 5 until the age of 22. Meeting Epstein at a yacht club in somewhere of his relatives, where members first at age 5 and later at age 8. He was having a horrible time by Epstein. So Epstein wasn't just into girls, according to this person, into boys as well. Sodomized by yacht 9 out of her, as well as by former US President Bill Clinton. States that the current President Trump, along with his wife Melania, were present during the said yacht trip. Trump not married to his current spouse Melania until 2005. That reports while being exploited by Epstein and Clinton, he was in a heavy drug-induced state. I mean, it's just mental, mate. It's just absolutely mental.
Allegations.
He was a victim of a type of ritualistic in which his feet were cut with a scimitar. What the fuck is a scimitar? But left no scarring. On the yacht, he witnessed babies being dismembered, their intestines removed, and individuals eating the feces from these.
That's great.
He was also assaulted by George Bush I.
That's too much. I mean,
it's crazy. Honestly, it's uncomprehendable. Like, this is so much information, so much wild information, so quickly. It's insane.
Nick, if this is true, then I don't know how anybody can like exist and find, like, it's crazy. Like, the whole worldview is like, I can see, okay, this person, Clinton, Trump, whatever, but it's like everybody. To me,
it's very specific for someone to make that shit up. It's like I didn't even know whatever that word is. It's an Ottoman Middle Eastern long curved sword. What? So some random kid that survived all that abuse is going to know that word for that particular type of sword. That's so specific. It's so specific. You wouldn't make that up. You would just say, you know, I tend to believe that stuff is real. I really do. I tend to believe it.
All these people, that's insane though. Like, if it's true, this is crazy.
It's uncomprehendable, honestly. Like, even just for wild conspiracy theorists like me, like, it's just so uncomprehendable.
It's so specific. I mean, listen, you're right. Someone could make it up 100%, and then they could have been told what to make up as well. They could have said to give these sorts of details. I don't know. And obviously, look, it's just words. It's just accusations. You can't prosecute someone for those things just based on someone saying it. It's like believe all women, right? That's a load of nonsense. But I also tend to believe that, like, that stuff. I don't know.
You know what this is, Sean?
There should be investigation.
You know what the CIA does, like the psyop, and again, I'm just, you know, just thinking out loud. They take something that's true and they add 5% of some crazy shit, and then people see that 5% and dismiss everything. This might be the same thing. They added some crazy shit and like, oh look, this is fake. It's not possible, even though 95% is true. So this could be a psyop saying, hey, this is impossible. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%, mate. I'm just saying, like there's a film. There was a film. I always wanted. I've seen clips of it in conspiracy like movies, and I always wanted to know what it was. And it was like the scene was all these powerful people that were sat in some big some giant dining table, and they were all wearing like black suits and ties. Someone in the chat might know this, might know the movie. And then like there was a woman that was like that someone made them. They were eating like feces, and it was like a scene from a movie that was about this sort of topic. And this woman was like,
or something, 8mm. Is it with Nicolas Cage or? I don't know.
No, I don't know. I don't know what it was. I've seen it in on YouTube videos, like where people were telling their stories about this sort of shit, and then they cut to like this scene that comes from a movie, and it's all of these like posh people that are sitting down, and this young girl, not young, like young woman is sitting there, and she just can't stand it. She's being forced along with all of them. They're all sitting there eating like feces, and she basically she's like being violently sick at the thought of what she's got to do, but it's all part of their rituals of like, you know, how do you get to live in the kind of realms that I'd love to know what movie it was from, because I want to see the movie, because I'm sure it's about that sort of topic. But I'm sure I'm sure Daniel Field, you know, rings a bell, right? Let me see if I can find it. I'm gonna see if I can search on AI.
I mean,
listen, I got no idea, mate. I got no idea. But like, I tend to believe that that to some degree this shit is going on, and it's disturbing.
No smoke without fire.
Yeah,
there's some good investigative reporters like Whitney Webb, even CoffeeZilla, that are diving into all that stuff. So I don't know if I should, but I trust them to piece this all together, even if it doesn't get any play in mainstream media. But some good people should or will, you know, get this out.
The problem is with someone like CoffeeZilla, he's got such a big platform. It's his business. He's not going to compromise his livelihood to expose something like this. You know, small little channels like ours might, but
yeah, Whitney Webb is good. There are a couple that do it, but yeah, I mean, honestly, it's impossible to know who to trust. Like I said, people trusted Bannon, and now they see who he really is. I'm sure that's the case with maybe everybody.
If nothing else, these emails should be the foundations for investigations. If absolutely nothing else, you can't prove people's guilt by emails, but it should be the foundations for questions that are being asked by governments if they're not corrupted.
But they are. That's the thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. When you got Kash Patel, head of the FBI, who is committed perjury already based on these files, like, you know where the cards are stacked. So,
well, I mean, Dan Bongino left, right? He's like, I can't do this anymore. And he's
they've sat in front of Congress and lied that there's nothing in these files that are incriminating enough to create cases. Like, we're looking at it, like, if they can't see what we're seeing, and they've got the unredacted versions. The photos are we've not even spoke about the photos tonight or the videos. They haven't uploaded the videos yet. There's apparently lots of soft pornography videos, you know, like victim videos and stuff that aren't able to be uploaded to the justice.gov website yet.
My issue, Nikos, is like people, including ourselves, we're so easily like fooled or could be fooled by whoever, right? Given like our biases just in general, that we could all be led towards a certain conclusion by whoever is in charge of anything, right? So even though I trust my judgment in a way, but whether like I'm not sure what I'm looking at is legit and whether I'm being led in a certain way. So for me, it's just very difficult to know who to trust and what I'm looking at. And just so that's the problem, right?
The problem is like people like Dan Bongino and Kash Patel, they got their jobs by saying that they're going to come out and expose this stuff and people are going to get put in prison and investigations will be done. And, you know, they got their jobs where they are right now based on those, you know, confirmations. That's what they were going to do with their time, you know, but as soon as they get their jobs, it goes a 180 and goes a complete other way. You know, it's very hard to know who to trust, but you need independent people. Like, and I don't think there's many of those around.
That film I was talking about is either someone said it's called Society, 1989, but there's another film that's called Salo or 120 Days of Solemn, and I think it might be that one as well. I'm not sure.
120 Days of Solemn.
Yeah,
goes on the whiteboard. Whoever that was, well done.
SALO. 120 Days of Solemn or something. Yeah, I saw the clip from it in like various conspiracy videos, and I've always been like, wonder what that was about. But guys, we've been going for 3 hours and 15 minutes. Should we round it off? Or
yeah, I gotta run, but
it sounds good. It gets undigestible for viewers otherwise. You make it too long, unfortunately, mate.
Yeah, I'm getting a headache. I don't know if it's this or if I'm sick, but it could be both.
You're sick. You're sick, Eugene.
Content is sick as well, though, to be honest.
Oh, mate, this whole subject made me sick, actually, thinking about it, talking about it. I'm glad we did a video on it, but it's a really hard one to digest, isn't it?
Well, we'll do more on it. I've got hundreds and hundreds of other videos we can talk about for on Sunday night show.
Let's do something happy. Let's do something like, let's switch it up a bit. All this is too dark. If we just go all in every time.
Someone left a super chat in there a minute ago. Finn, he's done a couple of super chats, but he mentioned the Phil Snyder and Bob Lazar and stuff. Like, I don't know what your guys' opinions are. I quite like Bob Lazar. I find Bob Lazar credible. But Phil Snyder, even though he was one of the early ones from Area 51 who come out with this sort of whistleblowing stuff, I found him uncredible. You know, based on the research and background check I've done on him, you know, the people that are sort of familiar with him, his families and stuff, it kind of leaves a lot of questions about Phil Snyder. So I'm kind of on the fence with one, but I think Bob Lazar is legit.
Oh man, I gotta take a shower now. I feel dirty. This was rough.
Listen, there's absolutely no chance this video is going to get past them. Thank you very much for that, Finn McMullen. And you're very, very generous tonight, Finn. I appreciate you, mate. Let's let Nikos host. Please do a big UAP deep dive soon. Let Nikos host and go as far back as the true OG Phil Schneider. Am I not a good enough host, Finn? Is that the problem? Yeah.
We can do it on my show. We'll do it on my channel someday. I like those two subjects. They were one of the first people I got into conspiracy theorist wise, but yeah, they're hot topics. But Sean does a great job here. I love being on Sean's show. It's such a great opportunity and platform. So
appreciate you all. Listen, thank you so much, everyone, for coming by. It's been a long show. 250 people have been here. Nikos, massive thank you to you, my man. Eugene, massive thank you to you, my man. Appreciate you. Love you, buddy. Love it, both of you. Love to Teflon John as well. And listen, I'll be back tomorrow morning with Tottenham stuff because we got Tottenham versus Manchester United bright and early.
Oh, yeah.
Back in the afternoon.
You got to clip the Britney Spears moment along with the Black Cat moment. Those two are very, side by side.
Cat.
Remember the Black Cat? You forgot?
I saw a Black Cat once.
I don't know what the fuck show was that on. That was months ago.
The Britney Spears one, it's very similar. Those two moments.
The Britney Spears one. Oh, Eugene telling us again.
Watch this video. It's great. The Britney Spears.
I'm waiting for it.
The title is misleading. Britney Spears clothing. There's no clothing even mentioned in there. It's like,
hey John, where's the Britney Spears?
I don't know.
Brilliant.
I love it. Yeah, we're doing a watch long tomorrow, Desto. So I'll see you there. Guys, don't forget to smash the like. And also don't forget to get over to, where's my man? Let's get this thing one more time.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Get over. Let's get him to 120 subs, guys. Appreciate you all. There you go. There's his link. Appreciate you all, guys. Love you. I'll see you tomorrow for Spurs stuff. And as always, come on, you conspiracies.